Fox NASCAR live in Bristol, Tennessee. The Bristol Motor Speedway, home of the world's fastest half mile. But the pace is going to be off this weekend because we put dirt on the track. And after some rain washed out practice yesterday, the precipitation is gone. And it is time for the heat races here in the Craftsman Truck Series. So good to have you with us on this holiday weekend. Good Saturday evening to you with Michael Waltrip, Phil Parsons. I'm Adam Alexander. It's unpredictable and it is fun. We love doing business on the dirt, Michael.
The precipitation is gone, but the anticipation has gone way up for me just because of what you said, Adam, the unpredictability of this Bristol Dirt race. Just look at our first couple of winners here at Bristol in the trucks. Martin Truex Jr. and Ben Rhodes. What do they have in common? Both NASCAR champions. What else do they have in common?
No dirt experience.
No dirt experience, but yet they get out there and get the job done. Look at that beautiful number 99. It just makes me happy, Adam, to see these trucks attacking this dirt and figuring out which lines they're going to go. How do they attack this racetrack? And Phil, it's always entertaining and it's always a lot of fun.
And these guys really counted on those 2 practice sessions that we were supposed to have yesterday. They're going to let these guys, before each heat race, go out and run a couple, 3 laps. And that's going to be, for some of these drivers, all the experience they've ever had on dirt. And then they have to go out here and try to make it through these heat races. It's unbelievable. Talked to a lot of the crew chiefs in the garage. The biggest thing is it's a different tire. It's a radial now as opposed to a bias ply tire. And the crew chiefs really don't have any idea how that's going to react.
You said no experience. The pole sitter, how many times has he run dirt, Phil?
Once he runs these 2 warm-up laps, he will have 2 warm-up laps under his belt.
And by the way, that's your son. Yeah, it's going to start on the pole with 0 dirt experience. It paid off pretty good for Truex and Ben Rhodes. We'll see how it goes for Stephen Parsons.
In case you're wondering, there's stress in the booth, especially for the man in the middle. Let's hear now from our pit reporters as the truck make their hot laps. We start things off with Amanda Busick. Good evening, Amanda.
Good evening, gentlemen. There's also going to be stress for that 99 truck of Ben Rhodes. I talked to him ahead of this heat 1, and he was hoping all week long that he wouldn't find himself in heat number 1, but said he has experience there, having raced that at Eldora in Knoxville. Said that in heat number 1, the task here with this muddy track is going to be keeping the windshield clean and off the grill. Wants to find the lead early here in lap 1. Josh?
Well, a lot of guys are going to have their eyes out there on Ben Rhodes, but keep an eye on the drivers that are doing the double duty. You've got William Byron in the 51, back with KBM for the first time since 2016. But outside of that, you got guys like Joey Logano in the 22. You got Jonathan Davenport, a ringer, in the 7, and you have Joey Logano in the 66. All those Cup guys coming down saying they want to get more experience because every time they've been on the track, it's been different from year to year, so they need that experience. And hey, it also helps if you can get a win on Saturday night to propel you towards Sunday, guys.
Josh mentioned Jonathan Davenport. They call him Superman, and he's a superstar when it comes to racing on the dirt.
Did you watch him the other night racing against Kyle Larson in his event over in Bulls Gap? I mean, that was thrilling racing. Such a great racer on the dirt. Reminds me of when we had Scott Bloomquist show up here. You know, a dirt legend. Jonathan Davenport is spoken of in those same terms.
And he and Larson have had a bunch of great races on dirt.
Here's what I like about him. He's starting back in the 8th position. These heat races will set the field for later tonight, and it's a point system. You get 10 points for winning, 9 points for second, 8 points for third, all the way down to a single point if you finish 10th. But there's also passing points. How do you get better as the event goes on? For a driver starting 8th, with his experience, he could really set himself up good for later tonight.
And you know, Adam, I said this, but his experience in dirt racing, the super late models, what he drives, I'm not so sure how much that's going to help him here in these big old trucks. They drive so much differently, all the drivers have told me. So he's going to have to forget a few of the things that make him great on those other surfaces and see what he gets when he comes to Bristol here with the big trucks.
And Adam, you mentioned you get 10 points for the win here, and you get 1 point for each truck you passed from your starting position. Joey Logano was our pole sitter last year, just for instance, and he had 15 points. So that means he won the race, plus he passed 5 trucks from his starting position to get to first.
And the best thing Stefan can do, starting that 20 truck on the pole, he just needs to go win this race.
Yes.
Because he gets 10 points that way. He knows that's going to put him in the show. That's a tall task, though, to ask out of a man that's never raced a dirt car or truck or anything on dirt. But these guys and girls, this is Haley Deegan during hot laps. See what we have here.
See that front end bouncing a lot and digging in. That's one thing with these radials are a lot shorter and they don't grow as much as the bi-splice tires. That's a lot of the question for the crew chiefs was how high these trucks needed to be.
And when they go down in turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, you'll see the boxes on the inside of the turns as the trucks get there. Those boxes are elevated. Stuart Friesen told me about 6 inches to a foot, and that's how they keep them from going too low.
15 laps, heat 1. Front row, Parsons and Purdy, Rhodes and Tanner Gray in row 2. We're underway in Bristol.
Purdy with a nice run off the top side. Stefan's going to get squeezed 3 wide down the middle because we know how good Ben Rhodes is, and he's in a hurry.
Ben Rhodes was so good last year. Looks like the middle of the racetrack looks pretty good. Stefan got a little bit of grip, still got a truck on the outside of him.
Haley Deegan on the 13 trying to look to the inside of Stefan. He dives down into turn 1. Looks like a pretty good turn. She's going to hook it low.
That's Tanner Gray in the 15 truck.
I raced on the dirt last summer against Haley Deegan. She's very talented in the dirt. Won a K&N West race on the dirt. Look at this battle for the lead.
Ben Rhodes going to the outside of Chase Purdy.
Yeah, no surprise to see that 99 truck of Ben Rhodes go to the front. So good last year here.
Now, by starting third, he can get a max of 12 points. We'll see where that settles in, but the key thing getting out front, and because no practice last night, this is a real opportunity for him to learn something about that 99 for later on as well.
Looks like he's handling a lot like he did a year ago. Talked to his crew chief, Rich Lucius, and Rich said, this is a different tire. We really don't know what we're going to have with no practice, but Ben drove that truck just like that a year ago, throwing it sideways way sooner than the other drivers and keeping the back end hung out all the way around this track.
It's down, up off the bottom, down in the middle of the racetrack. Look how dirty the front end of the 7. That truck will overheat. It won't take long for that truck to overheat as we see a great battle for second between Haley Deegan and Chase Purdy.
You said it, Phil. It'll only take a couple laps without any air going to that nose, and NASCAR keeps their eye on this. They know it'd be unfair for someone in this first race to overheat their engine.
You know, Tanner Gray has an issue on the backstretch. Could be already maybe overheating.
Tanner Gray started up inside the top 5, but is drifting back. And actually, it's going to be a tire issue for the 15.
Oh, wow.
Trying to get it back to pit road.
Haley Deegan did get by Purdy for second. Ben Rhodes is checked out. His advantage almost 2 seconds. We're halfway home in the opening heat race of the night.
They were running 3 wide earlier. I saw some contact before, but then this might be another little bump here from Stefan that could have caused some issues. I don't think they got together yet, maybe off the corner, but a squeeze for sure.
Ben Rhodes has opened up over a 2-second lead right now on Haley Deegan.
And you know what I love? We talk about the world's fastest half mile. We're just now halfway in this race. I mean, I feel like I've seen more action in 7 laps than sometimes we see in 100.
If you look at the pylon, and you can see the plus minus. Now, if you lose spots in your heat, you don't lose points, but you can gain them the more trucks you pass. Look at Haley Deegan, +4, working on a really good starting position later on tonight.
Last time by, she was about within a tenth of our leader.
1808, chasing the 1890.
Yeah, just about a tenth off of the leader on that last lap. Coming to 5 to go. Ben Rhodes.
Sending a message to the competition, isn't he?
Yeah, because we talk about the different tire and the different setups that it might take to be successful. I think it's the same driver, and he's driving that thing like he did a year ago, just really hanging out and doing a nice job.
Went around Josh Rayum in the 34, putting him a lap down. And there's the first caution. It's the 02 of Chris Wright going around.
He just
No
ran.
caution yet. Caution's out, stay right there. Back up a little bit, hang on. I want to go right around to here.
He misjudged the entry there. I just happened to catch a glance of it. He piled into the back of someone in entry of the turn 3, and look at the damage to the nose. Also, you see the water that had run out of it there. Could have busted the radiator. It might just be overheating because of sitting there. That's Taylor Gray, excuse me.
Tanner's brother.
I don't know if something went wrong with Taylor, but that was weird looking.
I think he did bust the radiator. As soon as he hit Taylor Gray, it looked like it squirted out some water. That
was unfortunate. Looked like Taylor got in normal. I don't know what happened in the center. You can see he was maybe a little slow in the center, and Chris just caught him off guard.
Yeah. Here's what I'm looking forward to, this restart. You put teammates on the front row, Hailie Deegan and Ben Rhodes. Ben Rhodes had pulled away, but Hailie Deegan had been working all of that traffic. Now we put them side by side. This could be fun with 4 laps to go in heat number 1.
Just super tight. I think because we're hitting the track so bad in the front.
I'm going to put a little more rear brake in it right now.
I put about another round. I'm going to put a little more.
Yeah, that's a big key to these handling of the trucks. The rear brakes. You know, we see the back end hanging out. You put more rear brake in it, you're going to get those tires locking up sooner, which will slide her sideways more. That's what she's looking for right now. Amanda, what's she saying?
Well, you see her sitting in the 2nd spot right now. Started this heat in 6th, and prior to the race, she told her crew chief that the truck feels fine. He responded to her on the spotter, said, hey, stick to that middle lane. It's the one that's going to have speed. You can see that worked here in heat number 1. She expects to migrate to the top groove later as we get closer to the race.
That's what's fun about dirt racing, Amanda. They're going to migrate everywhere. They'll be right out next to the wall at some point during this race. And we've seen, you got to commend Bristol Motor Speedway and NASCAR for the track prep. It's been heavy rains here the last 24 hours and has missed it all day today. And this track's in a great position right now. I talked to Kyle Larson earlier today. He's my dirt track go-to guru.
He's a pretty good one, by the way.
He said he thinks they got it packed really tight, and that not only will they not have mud or issues with that, he said they even added water to keep prepping the track. So I felt really good about the way it looked when we got here, and this has been a fun race.
Mm-hmm. That's got to be the craziest thing I heard. Rain, and I'm worried all the way here today about are we going to be able to get the track ready to race. And the first thing I heard when I walked in the gates, well, they're going to work the track and they're going to add some water. I'm like, what? It rained all day yesterday.
Adam, did you say like me? Well, I'd have missed that one.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming.
Getting them lined up for the restart. Going to be 4 to go. Heat number 1.
Yeah. For the first time, we actually have a choose on a dirt track. This is the very first time we will use the choose drone.
I was going to say, it's not the choose cone.
Not the choose cone, not the choose triangle. It's the choose drone.
Technology coming to restarts in NASCAR, Michael.
This is going to be so much fun to watch. There goes the choose drone. That square lights up. And when the restart comes, they can watch and see which way they want to go.
Amanda?
Standing by with Ty Majeski, and you told me that you really liked the track here last year. And when you see what's happening so far, you see Ben Rhodes taking the lead there. Anything that inspires you so far?
Yeah, ThorSport trucks look really good. Running 1-2 right now. Our dirt program's really good. We had a good truck here last year. Have a new sponsor this week, Soda Sense, from my hometown. So excited to have those guys on board, and hopefully we can give them a good run tonight.
Passing points being key. I like him as a threat for the pole. Not only fast here last year, but as you saw on the graphic, he's starting 9th in heat number 3, so he could get by a lot of trucks. And as it stands right now, because of the passing points, Hailie Deegan actually would qualify in front of Ben Rhodes, even though the 99 has dominated our opening heat.
I don't think she's done yet either, Adam. She loves some dirt racing. Put a little more rear brake in that thing. Let's see what she's got.
If she can get by Ben here, it would build some confidence, no doubt. 99 jumps away at the start.
Clear by 1.5 to 2. Clear by 2.
Deegan to 2nd. Here comes Purdy in 3rd.
Looks like that lower lane is preferred right now. Good battle here. Stephen Parsons 4th, leading Taylor Gray and Jonathan Davenport. Davenport's pushing. You see the truck just want to go straight in the corner, but he's hustling that thing, isn't he?
He sure is.
You talk youth versus experience. That's Davenport and Gray right there, isn't it?
And Stephen just had him and just saying, let me get out of here. This looks crazy behind me, and he's doing a nice job. But here comes Gray. A little smoke off that 7 truck. You don't think he's hurt the engine, do you?
We saw it just completely clogged up with mud earlier.
There's the white flag. 1 to go. Nice slide job there into the turn 1 area. Rhodes with that back end hung out. It's handling just like he wants it.
2 years ago, Rhodes was 2nd. Last year, he was able to get the victory, and he's going to pick up where he left off. Ben Rhodes wins heat number 1 for the Craftsman Truck Series at Bristol. Great effort for Deegan, who was 2nd. Purdy was 3rd. Stephen Parsons who's brand new to racing on the dirt, brings it home fourth. And Taylor Gray rallies to finish inside the top 5. He was a champion a couple of years ago, and he really likes racing on the dirt. Ben Rhodes, your victor. Heat 1 complete for the Craftsman Truck Series here at Bristol. Ben Rhodes dominates, but he actually in the main later tonight is going to start behind Hailie Deegan, who with the passing points in her second place finish gets 13 points.
And how about Taylor Gray? Taylor Gray gets as many points as Ben Rhodes because of the passing points.
For perspective, 15 points. Joey Logano last year won the pole. That gives you an idea of where we are moving forward. Josh Sims.
Down here with Nick Sanchez coming off a very strong run at Texas, but this is different. This is on the dirt. Your first time on the dirt in the Truck Series. So what have you learned by watching that first heat?
Yeah, you have to drive it in deep like the 99. So I don't really totally know what I'm doing, but just trying to go drive it hard and try to make something happen out of it.
Thanks, Nick. Amanda?
Ben, you told me ahead of today that you have liked every minute of racing here on dirt. I imagine that continues here now. You were concerned about the handling of the truck with the new tires. What can you tell us about that and the track today?
Well, I can't tell you a whole lot just yet. There's a lot of people watching and listening still, hoping to make adjustments. And right now, we're going to be second starting the race until the next few races go through. Kind of the luck of the draw on starting third. It was too far forward for my liking to get passing points. But all in all, I'm still pretty happy with our Campersin Ford F-150. We're just a little tight, and these tires are different for sure. So that's all I can say for now.
Well, currently starting in that number 1 spot is Hailie Deegan. She started that heat race in number 6 up to the second spot. And Hailie, when you look at the performance here today, Michael Waltrip was talking about how much you love racing on dirt, and I think that smile says it all.
Oh yeah, for sure. I know when we come to the dirt race, it's definitely a lot more equal playing field. So that's kind of what I grew up doing, being on dirt. Not exactly the same, different type of truck that I used to race, but it's still the same gist of being dirt racing, and I do a lot of dirt racing, even during the week. So I think with my crew chief, Rich Lucius, who does a very good job, especially when it comes to the dirt stuff, with Ben's past experience, I think we'll be pretty good for tonight.
She's got momentum. 6th place last Saturday at Texas, matches her career best. And we talk about dirt experience, not just experience, winning experience.
Yeah, that's right. This is the bull ring, the dirt bull ring in Las Vegas in the old K&N series, which is now Arca Menards West, and getting it done out there. Really did a great job. She also talked about doing a lot of dirt racing during the week. She goes over to Millbridge quite often and races micro sprints over there with a lot of these same drivers.
Starting lineup, Heat 2. And I go immediately from the top 5 on back because I'm thinking about passing points. Chase Briscoe is there in 6th, won at Eldora a number of years ago. Christian Eckes in 8th, top 5 in this race last year, and of course won earlier this season at Atlanta.
How about a couple of Friesens in this race too?
That's right.
Stuart and Jessica.
How could I skip right past them?
They were over at Michael Waltrip Brewing the other night talking about this race and this weekend, and I think she's just as confident as Stuart is.
Too.
She feels really good about what she learned here a year ago. Chase Briscoe, that truck looked, and there's Jessica. Chase Briscoe's truck looked a lot like Ben Rhodes's in that little warm-up session there. He was running high and had that thing hung out like Ben did.
Depending on how this heat race goes, they might be back at Michael Waltrip Brewing tonight, actually.
Well, it's been a lot of fun getting to be friends with them and this initiative for AIM Autism. Their little son, Parker, is on the scale, and he's doing so good, and they just do so much. Big golf tournament at Trump in Mooresville.
A week from Monday, I think, right?
Yeah, a week from Monday, and those trucks will be there and a lot of the racers, so go to AIM Autism, Stuart Friesen Racing, and see if you might want to join in and help out.
And Jessica's an accomplished dirt racer, too. You can see she was a track champion back at Utica Rome back in 2004, but she still races a lot. She said a couple of weeks she will run her first race up there.
And this heat race actually bigger for her than it is for Stuart because the points are enormous on her even getting into the field. Friesen's going to race later tonight. So you kind of root for Jessica here in the heat, and then maybe we root for Stuart later on tonight.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Hey, Stuart,
fair.
Get out of Jessica's way here. Just get out of her way.
Let's keep it all in the family.
Front row is Howard and Akram.
Yeah, and I think my favorite, just from that little, and I'm going to shock the world here, was Chase Briscoe. It looked like that truck was very versatile, and I think that he's going to be tough to beat in this heat.
And he was a winner in the truck series at Eldora on the dirt. So obviously we know he was racing for the win here last year with Tyler Reddick on the very last lap, and so we know he knows what he's doing on dirt for sure.
Right in front of him, though, Stuart Friesen, maybe one of the best dirt racers in America. So if he gets around him, and up there as Carson Hocevar looks in, having a good time, that's what winning looks like right there.
I was going to say, there's a guy that has a trophy now.
Well, he hasn't taken a smile off his face since last week, has he?
Hey, watch the 75. Every time we show up anywhere, Parker Kligerman's a player, right?
2 top 10s here in his 2 starts.
Really excited about starting third, too. I talked to him earlier today.
Look at this tight bunch of trucks.
Still there. Clear. Back out there.
Briscoe by the wall in the 22.
And look at Friesen. We talked about him. He splits the middle.
Stewart in that red 52. Howard leading, but he goes high, and they drive right by him. Friesen to the lead, and here comes Parker Kligerman to second. 3 wide for third.
Oh, had an issue.
Yeah, Howard's got some kind of problem.
Up rear.
Caution.
1 caution in our opening heat, and an early yellow flag here in heat number 2 as Howard sits idle on the dirt.
Phil, you know this young man. We talk about how sideways he drives his truck on asphalt. I kind of made him one of my favorites.
He's saying he thinks there's a flat tire there for Tyler Ankrum, but he thinks it said the motor blew or maybe a transmission issue for Colby Howard.
Well, and we heard the radio that said, tire, and so we just assumed it was going to be Howard, but evidently that's not the case. Ankrum comes in, and Howard still sitting out here on the track.
Let's see if we can pick up anything that tells us what might have happened to the 9. Everything looks good so far, and it gets down to the corner. Looks like he just overshot the turn and was pushing. And I don't know what would have gone wrong then.
You think he might have hit the kill switch on the steering wheel or something, Michael?
That's possible.
With the fact he had to turn the wheel so far, possibly?
Is this where we got Ankrum's tire?
I would guess so. I think if I'm the crew chief for Colby Howard, I'm saying, hey, hit that kill switch, reset that kill switch.
Maybe a little bit of contact there between Briscoe and Colby Howard leaving the scene of the accident. Happy guys, right?
Yeah.
Dirt, I'm going to tell you, dirt racing just does that to you. It's just it's so much fun to watch these trucks slip and slide and make ground that way. Usually when you're sideways at them, it's a bad thing, but not at a dirt race.
Not to push you then.
He does have a regular tire flat, obviously, but I think it looks like it's still in gear.
Yeah, it's stuck in gear. Maybe.
Wave your hand out the window. Yeah, I am.
Colby Howard's up pretty good in the points, so he will probably race later despite this problem.
One of our full-time competitors.
How about that 19, Amanda?
We talk about guys having fun at Bristol. Christian Eckes is one of those. He said concrete or dirt. I absolutely love being at Bristol. And you saw Carson Hocevar celebrating there. You'll go back to Atlanta when Christian Eckes won. He said in his winner's interview that he had something to prove this season. And as he was reflecting on the first couple of races here this season, that's exactly what I've been doing so far. But when talking about expectations on the track here tonight, he said, screw expectations. I have no idea what to predict out there, but said he expected the truck to be tighter in comparison to other formats that we see in trucks with the tires. Josh?
Here alongside Carson Hocevar, got that first career win last week at Texas, and what's even better, last year, really strong runner up here. So how you feeling heading into this one?
I feel really good. We're playing with house money right now, honestly. We already got our ticket to the playoffs, and this was a good one. They all were a lot more motivated. They're already motivated knowing how good we were last year and how good we were in Knoxville on the dirt, but even more so when they kept looking over and seeing a trophy sitting in the shop and seeing a winner sticker on the truck. But no, I'm excited. This is fun. I love dirt racing. I love we're here. It's not the traditional dirt that Davenport and Carpenter run. That's an element zone, but I like Briscoe's approach here of ripping the fence. Maybe we'll get that burned in, but I doubt it, honestly. We'll probably run the middle or so, but I'm excited. I have a lot more fun probably watching just as much as I do racing, but I'm excited to get out there. I'm jealous right now. I just want to go out and run laps.
Can't wipe that smile off his face, guys.
Yeah, and hey, he was second in this race last year and led 55 laps and led a bunch of laps at Knoxville as well. So he may be here for fun, but you would anticipate he'll be quite the player as well. We're doing the choose, getting set up for the restart here in heat number 2. Only got a couple of laps in before the caution came out for Colby Howard. And Tyler Ankrum also had a tire issue, came down pit road.
We're removing the drone, Adam. It's going to the garage area. Everyone has chosen.
Yeah, they actually choose with 2 to go.
Yeah, and this is interesting. We talked a lot about how good Stuart Friesen is and that Chase Briscoe would be right on his tailgate. Jessica slipped a bit there on the start. Ankrum with that, the flat tire that Ankrum had has put him in the back. So going to be a lot more action.
Looks like the Colby Howard truck will not be able to continue.
Will be green flag next time by.
Howard was quite frustrated when he got out of the truck, and I'm not sure, and not only frustrated with the situation, but I think also he wanted to get back and get a little work done so he could continue. So tough break for him, but as Michael pointed out, we would anticipate he'll be racing later tonight based on where he sits in regard to points. Friesen, Kligerman front row, right behind him. Eckes and Briscoe both have been aggressive early here in heat number 2.
Yes, and it's been fun to watch.
Don't forget about Zane Smith back in row 3 on the outside, that 38 truck either.
Right on cue, 38 jumps to the outside with a 22 of Chase Briscoe.
Boy, it seemed to be a lot more grip on the outside, middle to outside that time than on the bottom.
Lost a little bit of momentum there, did Zane in that blue truck. Parker Kligerman took advantage of it.
I saw Zane's truck dig into the dirt as well.
Think that's an adjustment they could make after this race, Phil?
I think, yeah, simply raise it up or maybe a little stiffen up the bump stops that they have on the shocks to keep it from traveling so much.
You talk about playing with house money. Carson Hocevar said it. He won last week. Zane Smith has won twice this year. He's really in a good position for later on this evening.
And Stuart Friesen's looking really good right now, too.
Christian Eckes is heating up Parker Kligerman there. You see the Napa truck behind the Swifter truck. That's a pretty good sponsor for dirt, right?
Is it not perfect? Isn't it not perfect? We used to seeing Food Country on that truck. The Hendersons. Hometown race for them here.
Of course, Kligerman running full-time in the Xfinity Series for Big Machine Racing, driving that 48. Great to see him doing so much behind the wheel this season.
Yeah, he's got a great attitude, great spirit. One of them guys you look forward to hearing what he has to say when they put a microphone in front of him.
I was talking to him down in the garage area earlier today, and he said, this is so much fun. He said, I'm telling you, you can't have any more fun than running the dirt here at Bristol.
It's interesting. You see his truck's not being pitched out like we saw at Ben Rhodes, where we see the dirt race Stuart Friesen. His has hung pretty good, as are most of the truck, but Parker's been a little straighter. Hangs out a little bit that time, but it feels like there's different philosophies in between either the setup and the driver or one or the other on how to go fast here.
Yeah, I was talking to Parker this morning. He said, I think in the heat races you will drive it more like an asphalt track, less hung out even though these front trucks are. He said, but in a race when it starts slicking up a little bit, he said, then that's when you're going to be really sideways.
Look at the pylon, and this is the gain versus the loss for these drivers, and the passing points are huge. Zane Smith +7, working on a really good starting spot. Chase Briscoe is +4, and Stuart Friesen, who right now is pulling away from the competition, the lead is +3. So you add that to what he's been able to do. If he's able to hang on and win this heat, he could be in contention for the pole later tonight.
It's got to be a little frustrating. Zane is right there, but just can't make up enough ground. And speaking of frustrating, Jessica's having a bad run in that 62 truck. She would be one of the trucks that would not make the race if this race were to end right now.
Yeah, this is the first time this truck has been on the race in the series this year, so no points to fall back on.
Just a normal riding the dirt for Stuart Friesen, isn't it?
And really consistent too. I've been watching the lap times. His lap times haven't really varied more than about a tenth of a second.
Hey, if you drop back to second and third, you got Chase Briscoe, who we know is so experienced on the dirt, and you expect is going to be really good later tonight. And then there's Zane Smith, who while he's been impressive, still has a lot to learn at this style of racing. Can he go to school right here and learn a little bit for later on? What do you think?
Every lap you learn. You just feel like, because look at all the things, look at all the variables, Adam. How far you go in, how far you hang out the back, which part of the track do you run? Every lap you learn something, and he's putting those lessons to use here.
He might be given a lesson. He's looking for second right now, Amanda.
It's funny you guys talk about school. He said he did the most homework that he's done for any race coming in here, watching film and looking over notes that he's taken over the years. But he quoted and said, "I am not the dirt ringer." So he's been hoping to apply what he has learned here. And in talking about the fun in Bristol, the 23-year-old used the words to me and called Bristol so sick.
I'll say this. He's +8 right now. I mean, he's working on the pole, is Zane Smith. And working on a win in heat number 2, Stuart Friesen. Here comes the 52. Back to the line. He wins the second heat. Second place goes to Zane Smith. Briscoe, Kligerman, Eckes, your top 5.
This was an impressive move for Zane Smith to get to the bottom.
Yeah, Chase was committed to the top side. They're really cranking it sideways.
Watch him go up really top side here, Phil.
Maybe jump the cushion. He did jump the cushion. All 4 tires up above the lighter part of the racetrack.
Zane Smith with a great run in heat number 2. But the man who got it done is Stuart Friesen. Rhodes heat 1, Friesen heat 2. We're halfway home at Bristol. Racing on the dirt, I never believed it would happen in Bristol, Tennessee. This is the 3rd year we've been doing it, and it just gets more and more enjoyable every time, doesn't it?
It's so much fun, so much fun.
Here's the point breakdown from heat number 2. Zane Smith finishes second, but because of all those passing points, he is now the front runner to start on the pole tonight. 17 points he scored.
Yeah, just like Haley Deegan finished second in the race, but she actually got more points than Ben Rhodes did. Same thing for Zane Smith here. And Stuart Friesen with a great run.
And again, just hats off to NASCAR and the track officials, the grooming team. This track is so racy right off the bat. No issues, just a lot of good action and a lot of fun, as y'all said.
Hot lapping for heat 3. Let's go down to Amanda.
Zane, you can see on that screen where that puts you. You said that you're not a dirt ringer, so what would you define that performance as?
Yeah, well, I've always sucked on these dirt tracks, so going into this weekend, I did a lot of homework, and our Spico Ford was really good there. That was probably the most fun I've had in a while, but I'm still not a dirt guy, but I do know I've finished in between 2 really good dirt guys, so looking forward to the race. I feel like we have a great truck. Should be starting good, so excited for it.
Josh?
Here with Chase Briscoe, one of the guys doing the double dip out here this weekend. What did you pick up out there in the truck that you can use not only tonight but tomorrow?
Yeah, just it's nice to kind of see what the track's doing. I was kind of surprised that it is widening out as much as it was. So that's encouraging for the rest of the night, but also tomorrow too. I thought the track prep guys did a really good job. I didn't think it would hold that much moisture with how much rain we had. I thought they'd have it so hard packed and kind of blow off. And yeah, I mean, right now the racetrack's really, really good. So yeah, looking forward to tonight with the Production Alliance group and Elliott's Custom Trailers and Golf Carts. Appreciate them coming on board, allowing me to do double duty. But yeah, looking forward to it. The Cup car, I think we started on the front row of our heat race, and yeah, the track's a lot of fun right now, just how it is. So yeah, looking forward to it. And yeah, the truck just a little too tight there, and I feel like we're a couple adjustments away from being really good on it too.
Thanks, Jason.
Yeah, thank you.
I think we need to do some kind of a vocabulary key for dirt racing,
totally.
Especially when Chase Briscoe's talking.
See a lot of smoke here. What do we got? A tire rub?
Looks like a left rear tire. We're looking right under the S.
In the safe light?
Yeah.
Well done, Michael.
Yeah, I could not do that.
Yeah, it looks like something left rear got going on. I can't tell what it is. Yeah, it's looking like crazy in here. Just hit the racetrack when I get down in there and get tight.
That should clearance itself. I don't know. It bounces around a lot. I know that body will shift over to the right, and that could cause it to be worse, but there's a dirt track expert. And Adam, there's someone on Twitter keeping up with it, I'm sure, but I think somebody needs to tell us a total number of funds we hear, because we're going to say it a few times, and every driver is going to say it. That could be the drinking word for the evening. Fun.
Everyone at Michael Waltrip Brewing is tipping back right now to the word fun. A couple of onboards, including Daniel Dye. And yeah, Joey Logano, the reigning Cup champ, is competing tonight.
Also a winner here in the Cup Series as well.
Yeah, he's got to race his way in because that truck doesn't have any points. I bet he gets it done. I feel good about it.
That'll be fun to watch. Danny Dye, not much dirt experience, and we've seen that not matter much here in the trucks.
Front row, Matt DiBenedetto, Nick Sanchez. Sanchez so good last Saturday at Texas. 15 laps, heat number 3. Off we go.
Remember in the truck race last year, Matt DiBenedetto got stuck to Austin Wayne Self, and it took him several laps to get those trucks apart.
Dean Thompson in the 5. Good to see him racing this weekend after that hard crash last Saturday at Texas. That's Logano in the 66 to his inside.
Logano's going to make that pass and climb up to the 3rd position. Corey Heim down on the bottom trying to follow him through.
Chase Briscoe said he was surprised that the track widened out as much as it did. Well, it was because of him. He's the guy that ran up there to widen it out.
Daniel's doing a nice job.
He is. A little bit of experience in the Arc Menard series. They run Springfield and DuQuoin, 2 mile dirt tracks. Here's Joey Logano going after that 2nd spot on Matt DiBenedetto.
Logano won the pole last year, started 6th in his heat, passed 5 trucks and won it, and big damage here.
Bring it down the back pit road, right front fenders off of it, right front flat.
Tanner Carrick in the 30, and man, we jinxed him. Daniel Dye around. As of now, we are still green, and there's the caution.
Carrick went to the pit road on the back straightaway, as a spotter told him. He got into turn 3 a little hot, and the truck got away from him. There's the 30 truck of Carrick. Overcorrected after the truck got away from him.
And that's what happened to Daniel Dye, I'm guessing.
And you saw the 51, William Byron. He had not passed a truck. He was running last. We'll see how that develops. Right along with Danny Dye on his race to shop suicide onboard camera.
Might have made slight contact with the outside wall. I think that was actually separate to the incident when when Carrick got into him.
That didn't do that much damage to the truck.
Had a caution late in heat 1, early caution heat 2, and now one relatively early here in our 3rd heat. 1 heat to go. And I had mentioned earlier that Ty Majeski had a real shot at the pole because he's started 9th, and he's got an opportunity to get a bunch of those passing points. He is up to 5th.
That's fun, Adam.
There you go. There's another one. Take a drink. We're getting ready for the Choose, and there is the Choose drone.
Oh, man. Innovation at its best. Yeah. These drivers, that's a shot from the drone looking back at the field.
Remember,
how they know where to go.
When we were told earlier this week that there would be a Choose drone, you said, you mean a cone, right? Choose cone? No, a Choose drone.
There was some talk around the garage area that they were going to put me in an orange suit. I was going to stand out.
Orange jumpsuit?
Yeah, and I was standing there. And
yeah.
I believe I started that rumor on Hub Monday, actually. That might have been my idea. No offense, Michael.
It did happen off legs, though, did it? Didn't quite make it.
That's why you got to tune into the Hub, man. There's Jessica and Stuart debriefing after his performance. And Jessica struggling a bit. Trucks are so different than anything that she's raced before, and tonight wasn't good for her.
A couple of drivers to watch on this restart is Nick Sanchez, who's lined up Ryan Blaney.
He's not only watching the race for the fun of it, he's watching to learn.
He's trying to learn, exactly right.
He's going up on the roof and is going to spot Joey Logano later.
I was going to say, there's a rumor going around he's going to be on the spotter stand. Watch Nick Sanchez as he goes against Joey Logano here. Real learning opportunity for the rookie in the 2. And I would also say keep an eye on William Byron. We touched on him. Not a great start to this race, driving the 51 for Kyle Busch. He's going to come from 8th on this restart.
Yeah, I was surprised at his start. He hadn't made any ground. Doesn't mean he won't now. Very talented racer, obviously. Might get it all figured out here on this restart.
Bringing him down really slow, sounds like.
Green, no pressure at the back, still inside corner, bumper.
Good jump for Sanchez in the outside lane. Takes the lead.
Corey Hyman, that black truck down on the bottom, trying to grab 3rd away.
We talked about that tire rub for Corey Hyman. Doesn't seem to be bothering that truck right now. I think you're right. I think it clearanced itself.
Ty Majeski starting to put things together in the 98.
A lot of pitch on entry, no gain by it.
You hear that? Pitch on entry, that means your back end's hung out. The spotters are letting the drivers know that what they're doing and how it's helping or not helping.
Here comes Majeski. What a great corner for Majeski.
Soda sense on that Tim Duggar Curb Records truck.
He was the biggest surprise in this race last year. No dirt experience and spent a lot of time at the front. Didn't get the finish he deserved, but backed up what he did here at Knoxville when he finished inside the top 5. Logano going for the lead as the 43 sitting idle again.
Look at that. Was the right rear tire flat on the 43?
Look, it's gone.
Yeah.
You could see it's just hung up in the fender well there. Another issue for that truck. This race is having a hard time catching its rhythm.
We have 2 trucks already out of this race. The 30 of Carrick and the 46 of Jerry Bowman.
See if we can catch a replay here from Daniel Dye's onboard. You could hear the tire just blew out right there. These caution laps do not count. Daniel waits patiently in that number 43 truck, and the reason why he runs 43 is because he loves Richard Petty.
That's right.
Everybody loves Richard Petty.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, and his dad was a racer too, and his dad drove the 43 because he too loved the King.
What's going on here?
Cleaning the grill, looks like.
Let's go down to Josh.
Yeah, the 51 of William Byron coming into pit, came over the radio before he just came in, said, yeah, I've been really tight. And he said, I've just been doing a couple things wrong out here. I need to get it cleaned up. So William Byron is a guy that told me before this, he's been hit or miss here on the Bristol Dirt. The first time he was here, he was good. Last year, not so much. So he wanted the more experience in the truck, and it helps when you can go back to run with KBM, guys.
I would have lost a bet if you had told me that someday, maybe 2-3 years ago, if you said William Byron will be driving a truck for Kyle Busch at Bristol on the dirt. If you had told me that 4 or 5 years ago, I said, you've lost your mind. But here we are. It's 2023, and anything is possible. I mentioned Dean Thompson. Let's go back to last week at Texas. You guys were calling the race with Jamie Little. This was a really scary moment for this young driver.
It sure was, and he had such a good run going, but Matt Mills, there's a lot of smoke, dirt, everything on the racetrack, and makes significant contact with Dean.
And he said after the race on Twitter that he was fine. It was going to probably hurt for a while, but that he was fine. So that part of the racetrack is a lot tighter than you think, Adam. You come off turn 4 and you got to dive to make that first bend there. And those other trucks with all the dirt on the track and the smoke, like you said, they couldn't see. And unfortunately, Dean, well, fortunately, he was driver's side. It was on the passenger side where it hit. And he was able to be okay.
Michael, I saw him down in the garage area today. Just as big a smile on his face as ever.
5 laps into Heat 3, Nick Sanchez, the race leader.
I think I myself am just getting it too sideways. I don't want to say that's really what I need. Honestly, I'm still trying to figure it out. But I think I could find way more speed on myself right now than the truck.
Boy, that's encouraging.
Mm-hmm.
When you think you're leading the race, you say, I can get better. Well, that's pretty good already.
He started this race second, so not going to have a chance to get a bunch of those passing points. He'll have to come through the field a little bit later tonight, but gaining great experience here. And once again, good on the restart. Logano hanging tight, though, in the 66.
As is Corey Hyman, the 11. There comes Ty Majeski. Great battle up front.
Well, Sanchez is doing a nice job in the middle of the racetrack.
2 behind. Just a 2. Still there, half lane outdoor.
Do you see how far his tires were turned left, Michael, in the middle of the corner? See, look at him, how far they're turned left. And the back end's hung out, and yet the tires are turned left.
That's not what you're used to seeing in a dirt race.
Side by side for the lead. Majeski got by Heim for third. ThorSport's really been good at dirt racing over the years. The 66 from the ThorSport stables, and of course so is Ty Majeski. They're looking at a 1-2 here, and their teammate Ben Rhodes earlier won his heat, and Haley Deegan was strong there as well.
Look at Majeski, power move on the inside around Sanchez.
This is big for Majeski, who started 9th, putting a lot of points on the board here when it comes to establishing starting positions for later tonight. Majeski +7.
He's looking for 8, Adam.
And if he could get it, it would put him in line maybe for a front row start later tonight.
If he get 8 passing points, ooh, a little chopped off a little bit there by Logano.
Looked like he really wanted that point, didn't he? That looked a little bit desperate.
This could be, if he's able to get by Logano, it could be a pole-winning move for Majeski.
We heard Nick Sanchez in that black truck say he thought he was hanging out too far. You talked about how it looked like in the center of the corner he was cutting his wheels dead to the left. Now he's moved down to the lower part of the racetrack. Every lap is just a learning experience for this kid. Doesn't have the experience in these big trucks the others have, and he's just doing a really nice job.
There's William Byron, his best running position of the night, 5th.
Willie B getting heated up by Matty D. Quite a battle here at It's Bristol, baby. This is a great race.
Are you rapping on race day later? Is that a piece in a pre-race 7 Eastern when we move over to FS1?
That's what that attempt was. And I came up far short.
It's baseball season. I'll call that a swing and a miss. 2 laps to go. Heat race number 3. Logano leading Majeski as Byron and Matty D go at it for 5th.
Will it be Willie B or Matty D? We'll have to see.
White flag has gone in the air.
Adam, for you listening at home, just shook his head at that.
There was a bit of an eye roll. Teammates for the win in our 3rd heat. Majeski to the outside of Logano. It's going to be Joey in the 66. Majeski is 2nd. Sanchez is 3rd. Heim and Byron complete the top 5. 3/4 of the way home with our heat races at Bristol. Give this one to Joey Logano. Only one heat race remains here at Bristol for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Zane Smith, the best of the bunch so far, scoring 17 points, the reigning champ, in line for the pole position. Ty Majeski 2nd on the list. And our Heat 3 winner, Joey Logano, is with Amanda.
Joey, you said that the truck felt snug, but it got better there as the race went on, and you're pulling double duty here tonight. What does your scouting report on this track say so far?
It's still a lot of fun. That's the main reason why we do it, and it's awesome that Hank 10 Car Wash just jumped on for us in this F-150, and you're always nervous when you go out there for the first time. You haven't driven a truck for ThorSport before. Like, what's it going to be like? You got to make the show, so you're like, hope it runs, let's not screw anything up, and they gave me a really good truck there. A couple little things we can maybe adjust on and try to get a little bit better, but it's still a lot of fun. That's what matters.
Joey finished 6th here last year. Josh?
Here with Ty Majeski, who picked up 16 points in that heat. For a guy that told me last year you're not a dirt guy, every time you come out, you keep producing on the dirt.
Yeah, you know, Joe gives me a great truck week in and week out, and the dirt here is no different. We have a really good package at ThorSport, as I said before. These dirt trucks are really good. It's a pleasure to drive them. I think ThorSport has swept out the heat race we've been in so far, so hopefully Matt can do the same. And we have a brand new sponsor this week, Soda Sense. They're from my hometown, Seymour, Wisconsin. So cool to have a new partner here and get it kicked off with a good heat race finish. And hope we can go get them tonight.
Strong start for Majeski and ThorSport.
No doubt. They're tied for the all-time wins list on dirt. They've got 3 all-time. They went 1-2 Heat 1, 1-2 in Heat 3. And as we get set for our final heat, problems for the pole sitter, Andrew Gordon.
Yeah, just shaking it down a little bit. Just got in the corner a little bit too hard, got it hung out, and wouldn't come back for him.
See, he went over that hump there in the bottom of the turns. That's a tight shot in there to see just that, how close to going around these trucks are about every lap. Hanging it out.
Pressure on Matt Crafton from ThorSport, isn't there?
I'd say.
And I bet he loves every second of it.
Teammates 1-2 in their 2 heat races.
Here's a stat for you. 11 dirt races all time in the Craftsman Truck Series. 11 different winners. One of them is Matt Crafton at Eldora a number of years ago. But here's what stands out to me. Matt Crafton, in those 11 starts, he's made them all 10 top 10 finishes. You wouldn't think of him as a dirt guy, but he has adapted and been the model of consistency.
And I think he actually runs a lot of dirt because of the fact that the Truck Series goes. When we decided to go to Eldora the first time several years ago, we got him a dirt modified. So Matt does a lot of dirt track racing. He's become very adept at it.
There's the guy that was on the pit wall cheering and having a great time, talking about how cool this event is. Carson Hocevar. Got to sit down with him this week. I think you'll see that on race day today. Raja with some issues, or what's going on with the 24 truck? Whoa. That's what that's designed for, Adam. They don't want you trying to cut the corners, and you know race car drivers, Phil, they'll definitely try to cut the corners.
Take a shortcut, we're going to do it, right?
There's no NASCAR penalty for going down there, but you penalize yourself if you go below the white line.
There's a mechanical penalty.
Yeah, hit one of those white boxes.
And you learn real quickly that's not a place you need to go as we look at our lineup for the final heat race.
Matt's in a good spot there inside second row.
Talked to Tyler Carpenter there, that's going to start alongside Matt the other day at the Nice Racing shops, and man, he is so happy to be here and get a chance to go racing with these guys on dirt. Experienced dirt racer.
Hey, I like starting 7th, the 23 of Grant Enfinger, because he's been great on dirt. He never finished outside the top 10, in fact, in 7 career starts, and he's got a shot to pick up some of those passing points and really help his starting position in the main.
There you see Stephen Parsons.
Locked into the show.
Getting all the information he needs to know to go win this race from Stuart Friesen.
He's a darn good one to talk to, I'll guarantee you that.
You think Stuart's telling the truth there? You know,
100%.
They are competitors.
Yeah, without a doubt, 100%.
There was sarcasm in that comment, by the way.
I did take him down on a lawnmower the other night, though.
Yes.
We had a lawnmower race.
In a photo finish with those Ferris mowers.
I hope we can get the picture, because your celebration was quite epic, actually. Fists raised above your head.
I can't believe you threw your helmet, though.
I couldn't help it. It was just the biggest moment of my life lately.
Yeah, we're coming to Bristol, and superstars throw helmets at Bristol. Yeah. Tony Stewart, a number of years ago. Final heat.
That was a different reason that we threw it.
Yeah, it was. That was not out of joy or jubilation.
What about Andrew Gordon on the pole after that spin in the warm-ups? Can he keep it going the right direction and get the lead away from Raja?
Final heat put Raja Caruth on point into turn 3.
Watch Tyler Carpenter in that 41. See if he can keep pace with Matt Crafton as Matt makes a nice move off forward to the bottom.
Nice crossover on Gordon. I think Matt's going to get in that throttle and grab that second spot.
We said it, ThorSport trying to stay undefeated. 5 trucks here, 1-2 finish, heat 1, 1-2 finish in heat 3.
Boy, Enfinger and Hocevar made contact there. Now Grant is able to drive by. Looks like Hocevar has a bit of an issue. Something, that truck's just not doing well.
He's bouncing all over the place.
That's Caden Honeycutt in the 04 Texas driver. He missed the race last week in Texas. I know he's wanting to make up for that. Holmes just ahead of him. They're both having really good early success as they try to track down Grant Enfinger. Spencer Boyd in the 12 there ahead of him.
Rich is holding down that 5th spot right now.
I'm going to tell you, this is a tight race. From the lead back to 6th or 7th, it's just a second or so of separation.
Battle for the 3rd spot. Carpenter's going to grab it with that 41. Gordon hanging in there in 4th.
Yeah, I said it. Carpenter looks good early. third behind Carruth and Crafton. And give some love to Raja Carruth. I mean, he's done the Millbridge thing, obviously has dirt experience when he was running ARCA, but he hasn't done it in a truck, and he's holding his own in front of Matt Crafton. His Infinger picks off another one. He's now 5th around Boyd.
And he's going to be heated up, is Spencer Boyd, by the 04 of Honeycutt. You can see that truck's pretty fast and really versatile. Now we got a battle for the lead.
I feel like Crafton's done a good job of being patient, taking his time, very methodical, and now peeking to the outside of that 24. There he goes.
As Majeski said, they really have a great setup here at ThorSport. Obviously, they share that information. All 5 of the ThorSport trucks are outstanding tonight so far.
Be interesting to see for me, Phil, when we go racing tonight for this big win, how this track changes and how the handling setups and characteristics that the drivers have to use to be successful change.
And that's one thing about dirt, is that racetrack will change tonight during our 150 laps.
Somewhere Duke Thorson is smiling. +2 for Matt Crafton puts him in the race lead, trying to continue what has been an incredible night for ThorSport. Carpenter +1, Infinger +3 is 4th, and Honeycutt looking good. Amanda?
I was just listening to Raja Carruth's spotter talk him through the pass there on Matt Crafton, but in addition to the spotter and the crew chief voice that Raja Carruth is going to hear tonight is Kyle Larson. Raja Carruth actually reached out to Kyle through text message, calling him the best dirt racer of all time. He has a YouTube playlist that is dedicated to watching Kyle Larson that he used ahead of this race. When I asked him what his expectations are tonight, he said, I know I'm going to be good, but I'm going to be a sponge and ready for what happens.
Picked a darn good one to reach out to, didn't he?
Well, and Larson, you know, has won for this team on the dirt at Eldora. Did it back in 2016.
This has been a highlight reel right here. Watch Caden Honeycutt really letting that truck hang out, running up high on the racetrack, and is trying to take down Grant Infinger for that 4th spot. Just got a lot of energy for Caden. He does a nice job.
He might get a 2-for-1 here, Michael. This is the old buy one, get one, huh?
He had to back out of the gas, but it looks like he's going to measure these 2 up.
I think Grant's going to have to make some adjustments to that truck. His truck does not look as good as we expect it to look. You talked about the fact he's never finished outside the top 10 on a dirt race. And here comes Honeycutt.
Going to be 2 to go. He gets Infinger, he gets Carpenter, and the points are adding up for the young driver in the 04.
And
Honeycutt.
What about Raja Carruth? You're talking about going to school and learning. Matt went around him. Raja said, I think I picked up a few things. I'm coming back at you, buddy.
White flag this time around. 1 to go at Bristol. This is our final heat race. ThorSport has won a couple of times. Matt Crafton trying to get them their 3rd victory in heat competition.
Oh, Raja's going to get there, Phil.
He is going to get there. See if Matt's going to have the momentum.
To the checkers, Dale up there.
Oh, what a finish.
Just by a nose, it's Matt Crafton who wins our final heat, but message delivered by Raja Carruth, who by a bumper finished 2nd, but got some really good experience there. The stage is set for tonight's 150 lapper. Matt Crafton, the veteran, the 3-time champ, a winner in Heat 4. Heat race is complete here at Bristol, and we have established the starting lineup. 2nd career pole for Zane Smith. Here is your front row for tonight. Zane there with Ty Majeski. Let's go to Josh Sims.
Down here with Matt Crafton. Great battle in heat number 4. You were able to come home with that one. Strong heats for ThorSport all around. What can you say about what this team is doing heading into this race?
I mean, ThorSport is a dirt program has been very good. We tested in 2017, did Goodyear tire test at Eldora, and we learned a lot that day, and it's carried over every year since. We came a lot different than we were last year. We struggled a little bit, but all in all, I mean, this Menards Ford F-150 isn't too bad. I was actually a little bit free in the middle, and I haven't been that way in a while in one of these. It's usually quite a bit tight, so now we got to put our heads together and try to see what we can do to tighten this thing up through the center. That's why I just could not roll the center like I was wanting to kind of over-rotate the center and couldn't get the launch off that I was wanting to. But we've got a lot of adjustability in this truck, so we'll be just fine.
Thanks, Matt. Amanda?
Well, Rajah, we just heard from Matt Crafton, and boy, did you guys give a battle to us out there in heat number 4. And when you talked to me prior to the race, you said, I know I'm going to be good. Talk about that back and forth with Matt Crafton.
Yeah, Mr. Amanda, it's amazing to race against, champions of this series here in NASCAR. But our Wendell Scott Foundation, Chevy Silverado, was fun to drive. I was kind of just adjusting to it on the fly there, but it's all thanks to the men and women on my 24 team, but also everybody at GMS Fabrication, Mike Beam, Lori Gallagher, and Ron Booth for all they do for me, and hopefully we'll have a good result tonight. I think we'll have a good night for myself and Built Seats, Bell Racing, Competition Cleaning, Alpine Stars, and Shady Race.
Well, that is 4 exciting heat races done here. It's Bristol, baby. We are going to be racing under the lights here coming up. We'll be right back with more action from the dirt.
Heat races are done. The starting lineup is set for the 3rd race on the dirt at Bristol Motor Speedway for the Craftsman Truck Series. We told you the front row, Zane Smith, Ty Majeski, Caden Honeycutt, I'm going to say, with the upset of the heat race.
He looks so good, too. Drove from the back up there to the 3rd spot.
Haley Deegan up there in the 6th position. Willie B, he struggled early in his heat, but he got going at the end, so he'll have a good chance to go racing. And Stephen Parsons in his first dirt race will roll off 20th.
Yeah, pretty proud of him there. Good job.
Row 6, row 7, some really good drivers. Row 11, Parker Kligerman, him coming from deep. And Norm Benning makes the show.
Norm is a dirt racing legend in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Saw Carson Hocevar back there in row 14, last week's winner. He's got some ground to make up. Tanner Gray had an issue in the heat. So did Colby Howard. And they start on row 18. Looking forward to the 6th race of the year. 3rd time on the dirt at Bristol. We're back here for race day, 7 Eastern time on FS1. Michael, Phil, and myself in the booth at 8. Next, it's NASCAR Race Up, top of the hour, Cup Series qualifying right here on FS2 at Bristol. Thanks for being with us. Congratulations to Zane Smith.
Theory states that nature consists of 5 elements: earth, water, air, space. But at Bristol, the impact of one element is far greater than all the rest: the fire within. Success relies on achieving the impossible. Control the uncontrollable. Do that and conquer the Colosseum.
The great equalizer is that dirt.
Unbelievable, man.
Where only one can win at any cost.
Every lap it seems to get worse for them.
Trying to hold on to it.
This is Bristol.
Oh yes, it is Bristol, baby, and we have been anticipating this event for months. And now the marquee race on the Bristol Dirt, it has arrived, and the Craftsman Truck Series gets to take their turn first. It's a track like none other at an iconic venue where Bristol Motor Speedway and Thunder Valley hosts a high-banked and dirty duel for the truck teams. It's a track everyone wants to win at, so who will rise from the dirt victorious? We are going to find out. Welcome in to Race Day on FS1. I'm Kaylin Vinci alongside Trevor Bain, Todd Bodine. Good to see you guys. Great to have you with me as always. And this is something new tonight, of course, for the season. It's a dirt race, and it never disappoints.
Are you kidding me? It's the truckers. The 2 things that truck racers know, all right, is wide open and take no prisoners.
Take no prisoners.
And you put that attitude on a dirt track where they slide it off in the corner and run into everybody. Then you got some fun.
I'm coming back over here.
Then you got a race and you're going to have some fun.
Exactly how it goes, too. Knock you out of the way. I didn't know it was coming. That's what they think, too, when they throw it in there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, he is very fired up. How are you feeling?
I'm pumped. If you can't tell from my East Tennessee accent that y'all give me a hard time for, I grew up around dirt racing. I mean, this is what we went to as kids, and I grew up on dirt. I started in go-karts, so I love this kind of racing. I love watching it, and it's fun watching a fish out of water once in a while, and that's what some of these drivers will be tonight.
Oh, yes. This is all different in the sense, too, of the format. We had the qualifying races, of course, earlier that set the field for tonight. Let's take a look at those guys who were able to get it done. Ben Rhodes was Heat Race 1 winner. He won on the Bristol Dirt last year. Stuart Friesen, always strong when it comes to the dirt races. Joey Logano, he is good on the dirt as well. He won in the Cup Series last year. And Matt Crafton, he was Heat 4 race winner. So these 4 guys, who are you watching and what do you think we're going to see out of them?
Well, they won their heat races, so they have fast race trucks.
True.
But that doesn't mean they get to start in the front because of the metric and how the passing points work. But they still know that they've got what they need to go to the front. They made some passes in their races to get that win. So I'm looking forward to watching them. There's a lot of talent up here at the front of this field.
Oh, yes.
I'm watching Ben, first of all, right? He won this race last year, swept the stages and the race last year, looks just as good in his heat race as he did last year. But the one guy I'm really interested to watch is Stewie. He was terrible here last year, and he looked really strong in his heat race, and he's a dirt racer.
Yeah, so you can't bet against him. There's so many people to watch, and you guys talked about it, the metric. So let's look now at the front of the grid, which was set using the passing points from the qualifying races. Here is how they're going to roll off. Zane Smith, the reigning champion, on the pole with Ty Majeski alongside him. How about Caden Honeycutt in third with his first career top 10 start? He will have Joey Logano alongside him. And there's Stuart Friesen. You mentioned him, Todd. He's had top 5 starts in all 3 Bristol truck races so far. So, all right, now we're going to open it up again. Who are we watching, Todd? Who you got your eye on for the win?
Well, I tell you, I like Chase Briscoe. First of all, he's a dirt racer. He understands the dirt. But he looked really good in his heat race. Got up the top. He jumped the cushion right here. So he did lose a spot or 2. But his truck was decent. He understands racing on dirt. And you know what? One thing he can understand is how to read the dirt. This track's going to change from these heat races to the end of the feature tonight. The feature.
There you go.
A short track, guys. The end of the feature tonight.
You threw a slide job on me a minute ago, and you weren't clear. So just so you know, not clear.
All right. Well, he's going to be good in the race.
There you go. All right. Who are you watching, Trevor?
Well, the ThorSport truck stood out to me in their heat races. They were all up front. Matt Crafton is included in that, winning his heat race. He had a really good battle here coming to the checker flag with Rajah Caruth. Beat him by a bumper. But in the top of that screen, you see the 04 truck of Caden Honeycutt coming from the back. That truck looked great from the beginning of that race, starting third. I think this could be a standout night for that young driver.
It absolutely could. There's so many people to watch. And the driver who won last time out could be one as well. Because last week we were at Texas Motor Speedway, and they say everything is bigger in Texas, and the finish of that race was no exception. So let's go back to it. Lap 172, things get a little crazy. The 2 of Nick Sanchez, he gets loose just after the start finish line. Contact with the 38 of Zane Smith, and the 42, of course, involved. The 19 of Christian Eckes is also collected. So the 42, though, he went on to win the race, and it's been a long time coming for Carson Hocevar in terms of his starts. 59 of them. 1 win now to his credit. He had 4 runner-ups prior to that. Only 1 lap led in Texas, guys, but it was the most important one. Now, the driver who led all but 4 laps in that race was rookie Nick Sanchez, who's had such an impressive campaign so far in the Truck Series this year. So I want to go out to the racetrack and join Josh Sims, who is going to tell us more about Nick Sanchez. Hey, Josh.
Well, thanks, Caitlin, and the guys in the crew and the girls in the crew were just watching your race from last week in Texas. Dominant, but didn't get the results you wanted. How do you process now a week later what you were able to do down in Texas?
Yeah, I think that goes back to the work my number 2 Gamebridge Chevrolet team has done in the offseason, making sure we have really fast trucks. And, I think in Texas, we didn't get the win, but I think up to that point, it's everything I envisioned on how to execute and dominate a truck race. And, it was a really good learning experience from my end just to win stages, lead laps, and figure out, mostly race my truck. And obviously at the end, it is what it is, hard racing. I can't really fault anyone. I was aggressive. I made a move that got myself free inside the 38, and feel like maybe next time shouldn't have been as aggressive in that situation, but it's tough to swallow. But honestly, me and my team are fired up to try to go get even more.
First time in a truck race on the dirt. What did you learn during the heat races that can help you tonight?
Yeah, I think once the 66 and 98 passed me, I had a much better idea of what I needed to do better. I feel like when I was kind of out front, I was missing a bottom. I was kind of being a little sloppy because I didn't really know. Had really no idea what to expect, but it actually drove a lot better than what I imagined. My truck was pretty fast. I feel like as fast as anyone. I just got to kind of figure it out for the race, but I think we've got the speed to easily contend. So just going to be about working on myself tonight and getting acclimated to this dirt track.
Thanks, and good luck tonight, Nick. Caitlin?
Thank you, Josh. So we don't always see rookies get the hang of this series so quickly. Nick Sanchez, what has impressed you the most about what he's been able to do so far?
Well, I think his composure right now after getting wrecked with only a couple laps to go. You know, as a young driver, you don't know how many opportunities you're going to have to win races. But I feel like he's got that confidence, and we saw a lot of ability last week to know he's going to be in this situation a lot. He already said, you know, next time this is what I would do different. So he's learning right now. But to be in contention like that, to lead 168 laps, to build the confidence of your team around you, that's why you go to the racetrack. It's to be in contention, to have a shot at winning, and he had that last weekend.
Well, you know, we know he knows how to race, right? He won 3 races in ARCA last year, won the championship, so he understands racing, right? But what impresses me is how quickly he has adapted to these trucks. They are totally different to drive than those ARCA cars. They race different, they draft different, everything about them's different, and this kid has been good every time he's hit the racetrack. His crew chief, Danny Stockman, who Danny is an old-time crew chief curmudgeon, he can't say enough good things about this young man and his work ethic.
Yeah, the two of them together, definitely a dynamic duo right now in the Truck Series. So let's look at the leaderboard where we stand at this point in the season. We see the 3 winners in yellow, but let's dial in on Nick Sanchez for a moment, who's holding that 10th spot, 4 points above the line right now. Here's his last 4 races, most notable a 2nd, 7th, and then that 16th, which really is not reflective of the race he had in Texas. So his team had some news come out. The team of Nick Sanchez, Chase Purdy, and Jack Wood were penalized following the Texas race for engine oil reservoir tank violation. So they were docked 10 driver owner points for the violation. Kyle Busch said today they will not appeal that violation. All right, still to come here on race day, Michael Waltrip, he caught up with Stuart Friesen to race a new type of vehicle. Who knew? Guys, lawnmower racing was a thing. Oh, yeah. And Carson Hocevar, he was a big winner in the Lone Star State. He reflects back on that win later in the show. So we look forward to seeing that conversation. And look at this. You guys, I've never seen this before.
Not clear.
Love it.
I got out of the groove a little. You did. The cushion.
Welcome back to race day for the Bristol Dirt. There's a look at Jake Garcia, fresh off a career best finish. He was 5th out at Texas just last week, so hoping for another good result tonight. So too is Haley Deegan. She had another good finish. 6th tied her career best. Also a good showing in the qualifying races, so she will start 6th this evening. So last time we were here on the dirt, it was Ben Rhodes who was able to capitalize with a win. And I want to go back to it, take a look at the way Ben Rhodes was able to make this happen. Go back to 2022. He led 95 laps on the way to the win. He was a runner-up in this race the prior year, but last season he was able to make it 1 spot better. Claim the victory, the very cool trophy with the sword. Of course, Bristol's a place all drivers want to win at. So begs the question, who thinks that Ben Rhodes can get a repeat? You think he's the guy?
I think he could be for sure. I talked about those Thor Sport trucks being really good here. You know, it's a lot like road course racing when you go dirt racing. It takes both. We see the experts, the aces come in, and we expect them to win, but a lot of times it's our regulars that do it. That's Ben is one of those regulars that's figured out a way to get it done on dirt, and the big part of that is that Thor Sport knows how to give him what he needs in that truck. Not necessarily just Rich Lucius, but also this year he's got a new crew chief. Same result, wins his heat race. So I'm looking to see what Ben can do again.
Well, I think that there's no reason he can't go and win, right? He's in a race, first of all. But he's another one that's self-proclaimed not a dirt racer. He comes to Bristol last year and swept both stages and won the race. Come on, Ben. You're pretty good on dirt. Yeah. And, you know, one thing that I like about Ben on dirt is he's really smooth, man. The thing, he's always keeping that truck good and straight, not hung out a lot. And he looked the same way today. The truck looked really good in his race. We'll see how it goes.
Ben Rhodes definitely could be a threat. So too could Stuart Friesen. He is a dirt ace and he knows these style tracks. So I want to go back to 2019 when he was able to win at Eldora. This, of course, at the time, one of the marquee events in the Truck Series. So many drivers who are from the dirt background want to win at Eldora. You can see the elation, the emotion. There's his son Parker helping him out with the shovel. But honestly, guys, Parker stole the show because he was doing things like this, dancing on the truck. What an incredible moment for the Friesen family. So Stuart will definitely be hoping to make some noise in tonight's dirt race.
That's Parker right there.
Maybe so. Okay.
That is Parker.
And Stuart made some noise with our Michael Waltrip earlier in Tennessee. The two took to some lawnmowers for a little friendly competition. Take a look at how it all went down.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Mowdown Showdown here at the Michael Waltrip Brewery.
How much experience do you have at this?
I mow my lawn a lot.
You're belted in.
You're damn right. I'm scared.
Tonight is a drag race, okay? This first one back to this yellow stripe is obviously the winner.
Does anyone know how to sing the national anthem?
In the home of the brave.
Yeah!
Please welcome Stuart Friesen and Michael Waltrip.
I am intimidated. How does a man hop on one of these babies and top over 12 miles an hour? I am really worried about my effort here today.
Did I win? I'm waiting for the word from Nascar. Sitting here on the front straightaway. Got a photo finish. We've got a photo finish. Yes! Michael Waltrip, Paul is the official winner.
Mower Master, we're calling him Michael Waltrip. Are we surprised that he was able to get the victory out there? He was aggressive.
I am a little surprised because Ferris is new sponsor for Stewart, and I thought he'd have a damn souped-up golf cart.
There you go.
Mowing lawnmower.
Michael might have been fast, but I guarantee you he can't mow straight lines in the yard.
Yeah,
That guy's all over the place.
A good point. Okay, listen, guys. Dirt versus pavement has to be raced differently. So no one better to weigh in on these differences, of course, than Stuart himself. Right now, he is with Josh at the track to share how to get it done on the dirt.
Thanks, Caitlin, here with Stuart Friesen, and if there's anyone to look at on the dirt, it's you. So can you talk about the differences between racing here on the pavement versus racing here on the dirt?
Night and day. It's totally different, but it's a great experience, and the track crew has just done a phenomenal job with all the rain we had yesterday. To have something this racy and good is just awesome. You know, you don't see that too much in dirt racing. So they've done a good job allowing us to adapt our purpose-built pavement vehicles to a pretty racy dirt track. So it looked like it slicked up a little bit during those cup heats. We had a real good Ferris TRD Pro in our heat. Was able to make a couple of passes early and then kind of check out. So hopefully that translates into some good speed in the race. You know, we got a good starting spot coming from 5th, and just like I said, big thanks to everybody at Ferris. Big thanks to all my guys. You know, Jess didn't make it, but it's a lot of work to bring 2 trucks. So very thankful for Chris Larson for the opportunity, and everybody at Halmar and Ferris. And we'll see what we got. It's going to be a fun race.
I know you've won on the dirt in the truck series before, but you haven't cracked the top 10 here on the Bristol Dirt. What's different this year that you feel like you might be able to contend for a win?
Oh man, as different as concrete Bristol is to dirt Bristol, that's as different as our truck was here last year to this year. A lot of changes by the whole HFR team, and you know, new tire, which is pretty good. You know, it's got a little bit more forward drive, a little tighter. So we made a couple small adjustments after the heat race. Like I said, hopefully it translates out into long run speed for us tonight.
Good luck tonight, Caitlin.
Thank you, Josh. Great insight there from Stuart Friesen on how to get this done. So there are a couple guys in the field who are dirt specialists. That will definitely be advantageous to them tonight.
Yeah, I think, you know, the one guy we've all talked about this whole day when the heat races, everything is Jonathan Davenport.
That's right.
Jonathan, arguably probably one of the best dirt racers in the country right now. 3-time Lucas Oil late model dirt champion. You know, so he comes in here and you think, well, he's got an advantage, right? He's a dirt racer. But he really doesn't, because these vehicles are so different to drive than what he's used to. If he does have any advantage at all, I would say, like I said before, reading the racetrack. That's
Right.
going to be his advantage. But what he's got to go through in the learning curve way overwhelms that
Right.
advantage of reading the dirt.
Superman, we call him, starting 25th. What do you think about the dirt guys?
Well, he won $2 million last year in dirt racing, so that'll make you Superman pretty quick. But, you know, watching Jonathan Davenport, watching some of these guys that don't have stock car experience, you know, they're used to driving their vehicles with the throttle. And a dirt late model, when you get to the gas, it rotates and turns. You heard Stuart Friesen talking about less stagger with this tire. It doesn't turn like that. It's a tighter dynamic in the truck, so they've got to get used to that. But again, the dirt drivers, as Todd mentioned, just knowing how to find moisture on the track.
Right.
When it dries out, slicks up, you got to find that moisture to get that bite, and they know how to do that. But all these pavement drivers, they're going to figure it out pretty quick.
Right. The dirt guys, though, certainly keep an eye on them. They have a lot of experience with this type of racing. Okay, we still have more race day on the way. We'll talk a little bit about that guy, Joey Logano. He was great in the Cup race here on the dirt a year ago. How will he fare in tonight's truck race? We will talk about it. And what about Carson Hocevar, big winner? So exciting to finally see him get that first win. We'll hear from him after this. Whoa. Welcome back to Race Day from Bristol with a look at Christian Eckes. He's a past winner so far this season. Won at Atlanta, hoping to keep the momentum rolling. He's starting 13th for the race tonight. And we've had 11 different winners and 11 dirt races in the truck series. This is a third truck event at Bristol. So what's happened in the previous ones that we have seen? Well, take a look. Martin Truex Jr., he was able to get it done in March 2021. Martin Truex not in the race this evening, but what a very cool moment this was for MTJ and company. And then just last season, it was Ben Rhodes, past champion in the Craftsman Truck Series, who went on to win in April on the Bristol Dirt. He, of course, is in the race tonight and hoping to maybe make it 2 for 2 on the Bristol Dirt. So how are our truckers? What are their average finishes? Here they are. Rhodes leads the group with 1.5. Christian Eckes at a 5.0. We also have Grant Enfinger, Zane Smith, Carson Hocevar, Matt Crafton, Stuart Friesen, and Colby Howard on this list as well. So Bristol Dirt presents a unique challenge for drivers. So how do they approach it today? We asked them to give us the dirt on racing this version of Bristol.
I'm really looking forward to the Bristol Dirt race. I want to defend my win from last season. I just find it incredibly fun.
Bristol Dirt's really hard to get right. It's extremely hard when the 99 has new tires behind you.
Nobody out there has got a good handling truck. Every driver is just doing the best they can.
You almost don't kind of look at it as a dirt race, look at it as more of like a slicked off pavement track.
It doesn't even feel like you're at the same racetrack at all. So totally different sliding around.
I'm sideways entering the corners, pointing my nose at the infield. You don't do that anywhere else.
These trucks are not designed to do it. I think that's what makes it great.
It kind of brings a little bit more of a physical aspect into the race on the dirt because we're bouncing off each other a lot more.
I didn't know what it was going to be like, but I'm not gonna lie, I smiled all the way through practice and the whole race.
If I have track position, I am typically pretty happy on the dirt. Our goal for Bristol Dirt, just like any other race, will be to stay up front, stay a little less dirty.
Is it possible to stay a little less dirty? I don't know. Zane Smith is hoping that is the case. So here are some notable qualifiers for the Bristol Dirt. Zane Smith, who we just heard from on the pole. Ty Majeski starting second. Joey Logano, one of the Cup guys, starting fourth. Chase Briscoe, another Cup Series regular in the field, will start 10th. While our most recent race winner has some work to do. Carson Hocevar will roll off 27th. But to get the mindset for Joey, we join Josh once again at the track, who is standing by with Joey Logano.
Well, thanks, Caitlin. Here with Joey Logano, a guy that won on the dirt in the Cup Series back in 2021. I hear every year the track kind of changes. So what did you learn today from being on the track for Cup and for truck?
Well, that's why I'm running the races. I'm trying to learn and do a little bit more and have a lot of fun. And ThorSports gave me a really good truck so far, and got a hang 10 on it, car washes, which is really cool. Car looks cool. I think it's fast. I think it's up to the driver at this point. It seems like it's definitely moving around, and I don't know how dry it gets tonight and how slick. I don't know if it's going to get much slicker than where it is right now after those heat races, but time will tell.
Time will tell. And one of the things that's interesting about you for tonight is here Ryan Blaney is going to be spotting for you. How did all that come about, and do you trust him?
Well, no. But Coleman Presley, my normal spotter, he's committed to spot another truck. And so I had the opportunity to think about somebody, and I thought, you know what, it'd be kind of cool to have my teammate up there. And, Blaney and I have known each other for a long time. And I said, you ever spot before? And he goes, I've done it twice. And the last time was like 4 or 5 years ago. And I said, well, what the heck? Let's give it a shot. So it'll be fun. If nothing else, we'll get a few laughs and giggles out of it. And, hey, you know what? Maybe we take a picture in Victory Lane afterwards.
There you go. Good luck tonight, Joey. Caitlin?
Thank you, Josh. I love Joey saying we'll get some laughs and giggles out of it. He seems very calm, collected, his normal bubbly self. So what are you thinking for Joey tonight?
He might be the only one laughing and giggling after this race. I don't know about him and Blaney working together here. He's got a lot more trust in his teammate than some do. If he owes him anything, it's going to get paid out tonight. But Joey Logano, I'm not going to tell you my pick yet, but he might be the guy. He's pretty solid at Bristol. He's won a Cup race here, won his heat race tonight in a ThorSport truck that I've mentioned 3 times now, how good they are here. So I think he's got pretty good odds.
The one guy that we haven't mentioned tonight in the show is William Byron.
Yep.
And he's a dirt guy. He run a lot of dirt races, grew up, and he struggled in his heat race in that 51, the KBM truck. He has done well on the dirt races before. I believe he might have even won Eldora, didn't he? I think so. So, he's been good on dirt, and that 51's not
He's
fast.
back in a KBM truck,
It's
too,
KBM.
Todd. I never thought I'd see that again.
Nostalgia.
But it's not fast. We're not used to seeing William like this.
He'll figure it out.
Yeah, he was
Well, I
so
think so.
strong, obviously, in the KBM truck back in the day. So here's the starting positions for these guys, where they will roll off for the race tonight. The special guest stars, Joey, as we've talked about, starting 4th, Chase Briscoe in 10th. William Byron will roll off 14th, while Jonathan Davenport, we've been talking about him.
Mentioned him a couple
he will
times.
start 25th. Okay, so these guys also in the Cup race, which brings me to this. Don't forget, Fox Bet Super 6 is available nationwide, and you have another free shot to win on the Fox Bet Super 6 app. Scan the QR code to download the app and make your picks for Easter Sunday's Cup race on the dirt. This week's jackpot is $10,000. So, still to come here on Race Day, we catch up one-on-one with the big Texas winner, Carson Hocevar. Michael Waltrip, he's at it again with this guy. This looks very interesting. What are we expecting to see here?
I got some chicken dinner.
Chicken dinner.
Winner.
All right, we'll be right back.
Weeknights on FS1, Race Hub is your home for the only daily NASCAR show. NASCAR Race Hub, weeknights at 6 Eastern on FS1.
Welcome back to Race Day on FS1 with a look at Carson Hocevar, who's riding tall after last week's big win. He will start 27th, though, for the race today. So, one of the best parts of winning a truck race is you get a visit from Michael Waltrip. This time, he decided to bring a little meal for our latest winner. Here's a first-time victory conversation between Michael and Carson Hocevar in a special winner-winner chicken dinner interview from the race shop.
They touch. Nick Sanchez gets sideways. He wrecks.
Carson Hocevar just scored his first career victory.
I've been waiting for Carson to win a race since 2019. And look, I'm going to surprise him. Winner, chicken dinner. Like, I'm going to bring him chicken. There he is.
Hey, Michael.
My man. Been a long time, and I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Long time coming, and seeing that trophy back there and wearing this cowboy hat. It's ironic I get a hat.
I thought the hats were gone, and then you win the race in Texas, and what do? They put a hat on you.
I told everybody that I needed to win a race first, and I was told when you go to Texas, you don't wear a hat to Texas. You wear one when you leave.
You were sitting there waiting for NASCAR to say you're the winner, although I'd already proclaimed you the winner on TV. As soon as they said you're the winner, it was like you had the clutch in, and boom! Just immediate burnout.
It's official. Today at Texas Motor Speedway, it is his moment.
I mean, it felt so good to finally do it. I mean, I've dreamt of it my entire life. I remember being a little kid and step on the couch and pretend I was doing the victory, celebration out the door. I didn't even get to stand on the door because I couldn't get up. I was so excited. I kept falling down and got hugged.
Let him get up there. How special was the hug from the mama?
It was really special. I don't remember all of it, to be honest. It happened so fast.
It was great TV.
What a moment. First career win.
When you look over your shoulder and see what all that means, how does that feel?
I've taken a bazillion pictures of it. I took pictures before we even started shooting. It's all I've ever wanted to do, and it just makes me believe that all my parents' sacrifices, working 175 hours a week, spending all their retirement fund to go racing, and it was at least worth it. You don't know when your last one is. You don't know when your last day is, so I wanted one to always say I got that one.
You were second 4 times before that big victory last weekend. Which one of those 4 losses hurt the worst?
Well, I mean, Charlotte hurt the worst for me. Led a lot of laps. When I threw that one away, I broke down and cried a little bit. People hold that over me, but it's part of it.
Been pulling for you since you showed up, and you know what we're gonna have now? Chicken dinner!
That's good.
You ready?
I'm in.
Let's do it. Last year at Bristol, you led the most laps, finished second, looked like you were going to win the race. Are you a dirt racer?
Ever since I got in this thing in 2019, I ran Eldora. It just kind of fit my style. I like to be out of control and make time up and find grip rather than the grip being there. So whatever about it seems to click for me, and I want to take advantage of this one we got.
Cheers.
Cheers. You've had enough. I look better in it anyways.
I love that. Great interview there with Michael and Carson. Hey, you know what it's like to get that first one in the Truck Series. It's a big moment for Carson.
It was, and we've watched Carson now 59 races finally get that win,
right.
and I'm very happy for him. I'm happy for the team, but I'm friends with Al Neese, his owner, and I'm tickled for Al because Al never gave up on this young man.
No.
Went through a few wrecks, few seconds, finally paid off.
And an injury. I mean, he came back from all of that. What do you think about this big win and the chicken dinner? Hey,
the chicken dinner looks pretty good, but for Carson, Michael Waltrip talked about 4 second-place finishes, and all of us saying, when is he going to win? And then he finally does it. I know that felt good. Looking at him before the heat races, though, he's on pit road here at Bristol, and that smile was still on his face like he was in victory lane. Really excited for him, and now he's at Bristol that he loves running this dirt, so good weekend for him.
Here it is, newest member of the club, the Winners Club, of course. His stats over the course of the year. Texas, the most notable is the P1 moment for Carson Hocevar. So we will see how he fares shortly. But tomorrow is a big day. NASCAR kicks things off at Bristol with an Easter celebration at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Race day comes your way at 5:30, and then we will continue on Fox as we lead you right to the green flag for the Bristol Dirt Race. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be an exciting day, and tonight is going to be exciting as well. What about Rajah Caruth? He's starting 15th. We look forward to seeing how he does tonight. Uh-oh, Stephen Parsons taking his... That's good. All right. Chase Briscoe's son. Well, I know he was out there as well on pit road. Let's see what's...
We got people everywhere.
Welcome back to Race Day from the Bristol Dirt with a look at Matt Crafton, past champion in the field, has yet to win on the Bristol Dirt, but hoping that might change today. And it's time now to make our race picks. Who we think can get it done? And Todd, you go ahead and tell us who you thinking.
Ben Rhodes swept this race last year. He's going to go to victory lane again.
I like that pick. Okay.
I liked him on earlier. I'm chomping at the bit here. Joey Logano, Thorsport teammate. Got it.
Surprise there.
Get it done,
All right.
Joey.
I'm going with Ty Majeski. I think he can get it done out on the Bristol Dirt tonight. It's going to be exciting, no doubt about it. So for Todd, Trevor, myself, that does it for us on Race Day. Time now to join Adam Alexander in the booth.
Thank you, Caitlin, and hello, everybody from Bristol Motor Speedway. Tonight hosting Race 6 in 2023 for the Craftsman Truck Series. It marks the 3rd time the Tailgaters have taken on the dirt at Thunder Valley.
Bristol, race number 6. The Truck Series returns to the last great Coliseum for a highly anticipated short track showdown.
And we're dirt racing.
No such thing as a bad lap at Bristol, man.
Last week we saw a new face in victory lane. Will lightning strike twice in Thunder Valley? It's a special night, one that reintroduces us to the surface that paved the way.
This is intense. This is Bristol.
Although the concrete has been swapped for dirt, one thing that's not changing is the drama this place creates. Bristol Dirt is back. The Craftsman Truck Series starts now on FS1.
They call Bristol the world's fastest half mile. The pace will be slow tonight because we're competing on the dirt, but you better believe the entertainment, it will be on high. So good to have you with us on a Saturday night with Michael Waltrip, Phil Parsons. I'm Adam Alexander. Here we go. It's Bristol, baby. The word of the day, Michael, has been fun. And the reason why, the racing here, it is outstanding.
And you know what else has been very entertaining? We've seen so much action on the racetrack. And every time we interview a driver, it isn't just us having fun. Every driver says, man, this is so much fun. And watch why. This is a battle for the win in one of the heat races. Ty Majeski, after Joey Logano, comes up just short. And then the next heat, this battle to the checker flag. Look at that finish. Rajah Caruth trying to edge out Matt Crafton. It was that way in every heat race this afternoon, Adam. And I cannot wait for these guys to mix it up in the feature tonight to see who gets a big win at Bristol.
We're throwing out a lot of words to describe what we're going to see tonight. We said the racing's going to be entertaining. It's fun. It's outstanding. How about this word, parity? You have no idea what's going to happen when the green flag goes in the air, Phil.
You really don't. And I tell you, these crew chiefs are only going to have probably one chance to adjust in these trucks, but the drivers, they're going to have to make adjustments because this racetrack is going to change. It's going to change all night long. We may see trucks on the bottom. We may see them in the middle. We may see them on the outside or all over the racetrack. And not only that, you talk about parity. We've had 11 previous truck races on dirt. at 3 different racetracks. These are the 11 winners that we've had. 11 different winners, too, by the way. Eldora. Now, these are guys with a dirt background other than Bubba Wallace, who won back in 2014. You see, Stuart Friesen was our last winner at Eldora in 2019, an accomplished dirt racer. And then the surprises started happening. Martin Truex, not a dirt racer, wins. Austin Hill, not a dirt racer, wins. Ben Rhodes, not a dirt racer, wins. And Todd Gilliland, not a dirt racer, wins. So anybody can run this race. We saw Caden Honeycutt look so impressive in his heat race, drove up to 3rd. So I'm telling you, truly, we have no idea who's going to win this race.
It is the stat of the night. 11 races on dirt in the Craftsman Truck Series, 11 different winners. You said it, Phil. It is amazing. Now let's hear from our pit reporters. We start things off with Josh Sims. Hey, Josh.
Well, Adam, you can't mention running on the dirt without talking about Stuart Friesen in the 52. This is a guy that's raced on the dirt probably more than the rest of the field combined. Now, Stuart got his first win in a truck on the dirt at Eldora. He looked great in his heat earlier. Now, he doesn't yet have a top 10 here on the Bristol Dirt. When I asked him what's different this year than last year, he said it is night and day the truck I brought this year. He feels he's got something to work with, Amanda.
Reigning champ Zane Smith told us ahead of the heat races that he is no dirt ringer, but put in time with his homework, watching film, looking at his notes from prior seasons, and it paid off. Zane Smith will start on the pole here on dirt. Said that he's won in every other format of racing in the Truck Series. Really wants to close out that performance with a win here on dirt.
Amanda, they call Bristol the last great Coliseum. So many memorable moments here in NASCAR. We write another chapter tonight. It's the 12th race all time for the Craftsman Truck Series on the dirt. Who gets it done? We find out momentarily. Now we're going trackside to get the command of fire engines.
And now, race fans, here to say the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome WeatherGuard President of North American Retail, Kevin Blossom.
WeatherGuard race fans, welcome to Bristol. Drivers, start your engines.
If you're in Vegas, I'm not sure how you handicap this race. The stars are out. Ben Rhodes has a championship. Zane Smith has a title. They'll be at the forefront of the conversation tonight. Fox NASCAR back in Bristol, Tennessee. You know, it's short track season in NASCAR. Next Friday evening, we're racing on the dirt in Martinsville. Tonight, all about Thunder Valley. Let's get to our Craftsman track description.
Yeah, Adam, the Craftsman track description, it's so much different than the Bristol that we know and love. Still a half mile, but it's only 50 feet wide. You can see the dirt, 4,000 yards of dirt to cover this surface, 2 inches of sawdust under it. These people have scienced this out, haven't they, Phil? It's a Bluff City red Tennessee clay, and they've got it figured out. This track has been perfect today, and we're going to see a great race.
What a great job they've done with this racetrack. Let's take a look at our race analysis. 150 laps. It's going to be 3 stages. I mentioned earlier that the crew chiefs will probably only get an opportunity to adjust on these trucks one time. That means they will stop at the end of stage 1 and they will stay out at the end of stage 2. That 12 trucks did that last year. The running order is frozen at the end of the stage. We will have non-competitive pit stops. They will freeze the field. They can change tires and add fuel on these stage breaks. And the teams that do not pit at the end of the stage, like we were talking about, will start in the front of the trucks that did pit.
Now we get to our Craftsman starting line. Up front row, Zane Smith, Ty Majeski. Row 2, opposite ends of the spectrum. Caden Honeycutt. He's a who is he kind of guy. Right beside our reigning Cup champion, Joey Logano, starting 4th.
There's Joey. Hey, Joey Logano. Michael Waltrip and the team from Fox. Do you copy, bud?
Loud and clear. What's happening?
Oh, man. We say the buzzword tonight's going to be fun. You ready to have some fun, buddy?
Oh, that's why I'm here. Have a little bit of fun and see what this Hank 10 Car Wash F-150's got in her. I think it's pretty fast if the driver can figure out how to get around the dirt here. We'll see what happens.
Hey, does Hang 10 Car Wash take trucks? Because that thing's going to be dirty tonight.
That's the point of it.
Yeah, you're a marketing genius, buddy. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
And that is our Ford onboard for Joey Logano.
Good looking ride. You see, this is going to be some great pictures of him working that wheel back and forth all night long.
I just think it's funny. 2 years ago, Joey was in the booth for this race. And Michael really tried to sell him on, you can learn so much up here about the Cup race that you're getting ready to run. And then last year he got in this race and he's doing it again. He didn't like the booth as much as he likes racing. What's going on here?
Left rear tires.
And there's some damage there. I guess that we saw a lot of flat tires in the qualifying races today. I don't really understand exactly what's going on.
Remember, first time for radials here on the dirt for these trucks.
And the tires are maybe a little wider. That could have something to do with it. So it's a tough break for Ingram.
Zane Smith takes the outside lane to his left. Ty Majeski. Here we go. 150 laps on the dirt at Bristol.
3 wide, first turn. That's Bristol Dirt, isn't it, baby? Look at Haley Deegan in that 13 truck.
How about Majeski grabs the lead from Zane Smith?
A parade of Fords leading the way here at Bristol early.
3 of them from ThorSport. Majeski on point, and there's Zane Smith in second, but 3 wide for that runner-up spot now.
And all those grooves will work. Those 3 trucks are maintaining speed from all 3 lines.
And look back in 5th. That's been the feel-good story this weekend. Texas driver Caden Honeycutt missed the race in his home state last week. Now look at him up in the top 5 here on the Bristol Dirt.
Here's Logano, came to play, didn't he?
Listen to that throttle. Listen to him work that throttle.
Clear by 2, clear by 3. We're on the bottom right now.
If you recognize that sound of his spotter, that's Ryan Blaney up on top of the roof spotting for Joey Logano.
Wonder if Blaney looked at the forecast before he decided to go up on the roof for this race.
I hope he had an extra layer of clothing in the motorhome, you know?
Those spotters are going to be wrapped up there.
All good. Clear by 3. He's just wrapping the bottom a little bit more on exit.
Now you see, that's a driver who knows what he wants to hear from his spotter. These spotters are so in tune with their drivers. I think this is a perfect role for Ryan tonight.
Oh,
little damage.
Those white squares, that's about a foot tall, Michael? They're trying to keep these trucks up on the racetrack.
13, Haley Deegan. 38, Zane Smith. The 04, we've talked about him, Caden Honeycutt.
Getting it done. Haley with a nice run off the corner there to keep that 3rd position. Honeycutt says, let's see what it's like up top.
We saw Honeycutt making some nice moves in his heat race from the top. Now he's going to jump underneath Zane Smith.
Nice drive for the 19-year-old. Aledo, Texas. Has the best finish of 9th at Phoenix, but I'm telling you, his best starts tonight, 3rd. We'll see how he does.
After that heat race, he's got to be full of confidence. And when you look who he's racing around at the front of the field, that'll give him some confidence as well.
How cool is that for a teenager? Racing with the champion, getting it done here in Bristol. Yeah, those you talked about it, Phil. Those white squares in the corner, they're speed bumps. And that keeps the trucks from cutting the corners. And that's where the drivers would go if it was faster. So NASCAR decided we got to keep you up on the road. Oh,
trouble
no.
Early.
Mason Massey is the first one I saw spinning, but there's the 99 Ben Rhodes.
Last year's winner.
Stephen Parsons with a lot of damage. I think his night is done on that 20 truck.
Yeah, you see the right rear tire looks like it's flat, and that rear end may be askew.
Yeah, Taylor Gray's got fluid everywhere, and it's pretty beat up as well. The 33.
Mason Massey.
Mason Massey. Coming off a career best finish, 11th last week.
Tyler Carpenter also.
Tyler in that 41 truck with some pretty significant damage. Looks like just sheet metal, but that's unfortunate for Stefan. First laps on a dirt race were earlier today in the qualifying races, and unfortunately didn't get to make but about 10 tonight.
Yeah, did a great job in the heat race, finished 4th and qualified his way into the field.
See if we can see where this all goes wrong. The first truck I saw around was the 33 of Massey.
Dean Thompson, the 5, following him. Mason's going to jump to the high side. He's actually going to go around.
Look at Ben. Lock him down. Lock him down.
Trying to get stopped. There's Hosebar going by on the inside.
And you can see Gray and Parsons both suffered the same fate.
Committed to the bottom, and because Ben was in the middle of the racetrack, there really wasn't any room.
Carpenter tried to drive through, just not a big enough hole. And mark this point in the race for both the 99 of Ben Rhodes and the 42 of Carson Hocevar. Close calls. If they can come back later, their ability to avoid a big problem here will be huge.
Very little damage to Ben Rhodes' truck.
And look at Carpenter. So close to making his way through and just ripped off that left front fender. You can't just change directions on dirt. I mean, it's hard to do it on asphalt at times, but you can't just whip it the other way. It just doesn't grip like that. It doesn't work that way.
That's like Taylor Gray and Stephen Parsons had committed to the bottom. They were already in the corner as hard as they could get in the corner, and the truck's in their way.
Early caution at Bristol. We're 10 laps in. Joey Logano leading Majeski, Deegan, Zane Smith, and Honeycutt. Early caution, 13 laps complete, stage 1 for the Craftsman Truck Series on the dirt at Bristol.
Yeah, we've got some great views here tonight. We're going to ride along with Daniel Dye with his Race to Stop Suicide onboard camera. There you see the young man out of DeLand, Florida, chunking up some dirt. Got a lot of energy, does Daniel Dye. A lot of fun to see these young racers get to the Truck Series and just enjoy what they get to do. It's a blessing to get to race. I love every lap I ever got to make, unless my car was tore up. Those were kind of challenging. Mostly.
Daniel's new to the Truck Series this year. I ran the Arca Menard Series, finished second in points last year.
There's Joey hanging 10.
He's led 12 laps tonight.
Pretty much everyone making moves on the bottom. No one's really ventured up. Yeah, everyone going forwards on the bottom. Really, nobody's been moving up too much yet.
When we think of the track evolution we've seen here tonight, starting the heat races at 4:30 local, then there was Cup qualifying right after, hearing from Joey Logano and Ty Majeski that they're hitting the ground hard in the truck, more so than we saw in the heat race. Josh?
With Taylor Gray, night ends prematurely, unfortunately. What did you see there?
Yeah, I mean, it's the product we get when we come to a perfectly good concrete track, put dirt on it. I mean, I get it's fun for the fans and good for the sport sometimes, but I feel like a pretty good night ended early. I feel like our truck was handling pretty good. We had to go to the rear for changing a left rear tire after the heat race, and I feel like it was going pretty decent. Picked up quite a few spots there pretty early, and just kind of managing my time. And racetrack got blocked in front of us. Couldn't really go anywhere. I have to commit to the bottom. So, I can't thank everybody enough from Toyota and JBL and everyone at Tricon enough for building really fast race trucks. Just got to go next week to Martinsville and probably get beat up a little more.
Frustrating end to the night for Taylor Gray.
We talked about Joey Logano's spotter, Ryan Blaney. Let's see if we can talk to Ryan. Hey, Ryan Blaney, Phil Parsons and boys up in the Fox booth. You got a copy?
I do.
How's that? I see you bouncing around from leg to leg to try to keep warm, but how's that view up there?
Well, the view's nice. A little cold for my taste, but hey, my driver went from fourth to the lead, so props to him and making my job easy. So it's going well.
Hey, Blaney, it's Walter. How much credit are you going to take for those moves he was making?
0. It's all him. Oh, come on.
Yeah, oh, by the way, Joey could hear what we were talking to Blaney about, too.
Now, it's funny in this situation. If you look at Blaney, to his left, our right, is Coleman Presley, who normally spots for Logano. He's spotting for Tanner Gray tonight. He told me if Tanner has any kind of an issue, I might breeze over and help Blaney with Logano. I think Logano is going to be around for the long haul.
Those boys are doing their best to stay warm up there, aren't they?
That's exactly right. You could tell it's a brisk, cool night. 46 degrees. Check this out. Is that technology or what? That's the Choose drone. We used to have the Choose zone. Now we're Choose drone. And that's where the drivers have to make their decision inside or out. I would think the leader, maybe Phil, will take the outside, but then probably everyone else just sort of fall in line. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah, I don't think you want to give up a full row to get inside or outside.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
I like this.
It is cool.
Okay. And I'm sure NASCAR is making this, an inexact science. Yeah. Give me what you're doing right there about the drone as you see everybody splitting it. Comes Daniel Dye, 43.
Tyler Ankrum had a flat tire on the pace lap in that 16 truck. He's still on the lead lap, though.
Yeah, that was a close one for him. That's just a cool looking view, isn't it?
It is.
So used to running down to those high bank concrete corners and just to see that shiny dirt. Makes me want to be out there in a truck.
Logano takes the outside lane. I feel like we should listen in on the restart, see how Blaney does on the spotter stand.
Yeah, let's do that.
I love it.
Yeah.
Look, sounds like Blaney.
1319 behind you, 3804. Starts on you.
Starts on you. That's Blaney saying, take it over, big guy.
Almost sounds like he's reading from a script, doesn't it? It's like I got my cheat notes.
He has the lingo down, doesn't he?
All right, early caution. Stage 1 will be halfway home when we return to the green flag. Here's the Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano show.
To the door, quarter, clear. Clear by 1.
This is when the spotter usually lays out for quite a bit.
By 3, 4, single 5 behind you.
Drive away from the field like that.
Well, they've moved that groove lower and lower and lower, haven't they?
Yeah, and you can really see Logano wrapping the bottom and making it work. That's probably something Blaney will tell him. He's wrapping the bottom better than the rest, and that's why he's able to drive away. Listen to him work that throttle. You can't just slam the gas down. You got to really keep those tires up under you. Caden Honeycutt up to third in that 04 truck.
Haley Deegan took a look at the inside of Zane Smith. Couldn't quite make it work. Now here comes Crafton, her teammate on the outside.
Matt Crafton looks good early in the 88.
I like that he has options. He went up top and made some ground. Everybody else was wrapping the bottom. He decided to take the middle, and he's making it look good.
Started to 8th, working on 5th.
Great battle.
3 wide behind him. Christian Eckes in the 19. He's got company from the 51. That's William Byron driving tonight for Kyle Busch Motorsports. And Grant Enfinger, really good for GMS right there in the 23.
Yeah, we were talking about William before the show. He didn't have a great heat race. Not really fast, but he seems to got it figured out now.
Yeah, Danny Stockman makes some changes to that 51 truck. I'm sorry, Danny Stockman is Nick Sanchez, crew chief.
I thought, ironically enough, Byron looked better in his Cup heat race than he did his truck heat race. We anticipated he would dominate, but as you guys said, not where he wanted to be. They made some adjustments, and the 51 making an early splash.
Yeah, Brian Patty's moved over there from the Cup Series to crew chief that 51 truck. Already went to victory lane this year with Kyle.
Haley's down on the bottom, losing some ground. She decides she'll move up to the middle. She saw what William was able to do.
Second caution of the night. Chris Wright is there. Tyler Ankrum, who we saw on pit road earlier.
Timmy Hill.
Timmy's going to be able to drive away.
Get it back to us here.
A lot of damage to Ankrum's truck.
Carnage.
Taylor Carpenter also involved in the 41 truck. That looks to be terminal, I think, for Tyler Ankrum there.
Yeah.
Probably busted the radiator, I'm guessing.
You see the fluid on the inside of the track that was trailing him.
I just feel like it's been a tough day for him across the board, going back to the heat race, talking about Tyler Ankrum.
Oh, and Ankrum just lost it. And look, there just isn't any way to get out of that situation. And look at our onboard race reporter, Daniel Dye.
He turned in a per diem invoice after last week, didn't he?
And you know what? We liked it so much, we said, let's go for it again, Daniel.
Everything happened at Texas last week. It was right in front of Daniel Dye.
Going to be right around 10 laps to go when we get the restart here in stage 1. Joey Logano still out front on the dirt at Bristol. Next weekend, Real Football for Real Fans is back. The 2023 USFL season opening kickoff weekend starts the new campaign April 15th on Fox.
USFL, that's some fun football. Love watching it.
10 laps to go, stage 1. Stuart Friesen, 13th.
Yeah, nobody knows any more about dirt than Stuart Friesen.
He's my pick to win this race. Josh, I think Stuart Friesen wins this race. What's he saying on the radio? Anything?
Yeah, here's the thing. Before the race, Stuart Friesen was really happy with that truck. Won his heat, was very strong. Felt it was night and day from what he had last year. But he just came over the radio and said, hey, this motor is terrible. He said even when he's wide open, he can't keep up. And as you see, he started 5th. He's dropped back to 13th, so he needs some help, Amanda.
After the wreck we saw with Ben Rhodes earlier, he was down in the 32nd spot, now up into 24. Told his team the truck feels fine, just can't get through traffic to see what he's really got under that hood.
After that report from Josh, I think I'm going to not pick Stuart Friesen to win this race. His motor's deal, he says. Good-looking 99 truck there for Ben Rhodes. I think it's got some speed to it, too. Like I said, dropping to the back after that spin, picking up spots.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a contender before this night's over.
1 to go this time by, so we'll go green flag racing and sprint to the end of the first stage. So much action, man. This is so fun to watch.
Quite the Thor Sport theme at the front. 66-98 front row. Haley Deegan back there in 7th. Matt Crafton in between. Going to restart inside of row number 2.
How about 6 forwards in the top 7 positions right now? William Byron in 5th, the only non-Ford up there.
Yeah, talk about Thor Sport. Zane Smith up there as well. 7 to go, stage 1. Logano not afraid to get on the gas when they put the green flag in the air.
Well, he got a great jump. So Haley Deegan trying to go through the middle. That's Haley in the 13th truck. She's still in the middle of 3 wide. Grant Enfinger, the 23 inside. Now they're 2 wide.
It's Eckes behind her, and just behind them, the 22, the red 22, Chase Briscoe surfacing inside the top 10.
Yeah, you got to figure that's another truck that's going to be up there battling for the lead. That's a Ford before it's over. Look at this move by Crafton, strong on the bottom.
Nice run up off the corner for William Byron in the 51.
This the battle for 3rd. Honeycutt is there in the 04. Byron looking to the outside.
Williams going to have the momentum from the high side.
He'll be good and clear.
Clear.
Tab Boyd on the spotter stand for William Byron. Reunited. Boyd used to work with him in the Cup Series, working with him tonight in the Craftsman Truck Series. Couple of laps to go. There'll be 2 to go next time around.
Grant Enfinger making some nice moves, getting around Zane Smith and trying to work his way past Haley Deegan.
Briscoe trying to do the crossover on Christian Eckes. That's Briscoe in the 22, Eckes in the 19.
There's Parker Kligerman in the 75 coming to the party.
Everybody trying to get what they can before the green and white checkered flag goes in the air, ending the opening stage. You talk about Kligerman. There is Friesen. Going to be 1 to go this time around. Logano leading Majeski as we close on the end of our opening stage at Bristol.
Logano just jumps out to such a big lead on the restart, and then Majeski's able to reel him in, but just too big of a deficit to overcome.
Joey Logano started on the pole last year, finished 6th. He wins the opening stage in 2023. It's the Bristol Dirt Race for the Craftsman Truck Series.
Is that Hocevar really smoking right there?
It is, yes. You know, we saw him lose some track position early. You get deep, and that's when you open the door for something to go wrong. For Joey Logano, first time he's won a stage in his Truck Series career. William Byron got all the way back up there to 3rd.
We fully expect now all these trucks to come down pit road at the end of this stage when pit road is open.
Just at the end of that stage, the 9 truck, Kobe Howard, had an issue, had a flat tire.
Pit stops when we come back. Logano, your winner, opening stage at Bristol. Stage 1 complete. It's the Craftsman Truck Series racing on the dirt at Bristol Motor Speedway with Michael Waltrip, Phil Parsons. I'm Adam Alexander. Joey Logano wins the stage. Obviously no points there. Same for William Byron in 3rd. Good day for Ty Majeski going. He gets 9 points in stage 1. Caden Honeycutt delivering with 7. And you saw on down the line some of the other drivers that had good outings in the opening stage. Crafton, Deegan, Infinger, and our reigning champ, Zane Smith.
So everybody's pretty much just coming to pit road, but you see a couple of trucks staying on the racetrack, led by Matt DiBenedetto in the 25 truck.
And Red Holmes right behind Matt in the 32.
When the stage ends, we thought, Phil, and you touched on it in the race strategy, we thought these guys might all come to pit road at the end of this stage, get some tires, freshen up their truck, and then maybe not pit at the next stage. But Matty D, with no track position, he decided to throw a bit of a curveball at them.
And it gives them an option. Obviously, they can, if they need an adjustment or whatever, they can come in. These guys at pit now, they can come into the end of that second stage, but it opens up the strategy for them to stay out if they so choose to.
There's a star of this show, and there's a guy that struggled a bit. Doesn't like his engine. Stuart Friesen with that sponsor from Ferris Mowers. I thought when I beat him on the mower race, the other night, he would come here and dominate this race just to make a statement.
You thought he'd be driving angry? Is that what you thought after you beat him?
You called it.
He was a little upset, I think, when you beat him.
I just love the emotion that you showed after that big win, Michael. I know it meant a lot to you.
It might be the last one I ever get at him.
Pit stop's underway, Amanda.
You guys were talking about the performance of the Fords tonight. Every ThorSport Ford qualified in the top 10 kicking off this heat race. You see that 66 on the side there of Joey Logano. He's reporting to his team that the truck is bouncing so bad. If you guys could fix that for me, that would be great. Another one of the ThorSport Fords, a 98 of Ty Majeski. You might have seen at the end of stage 1, all the leading trucks tended to that high lane. He said that the lower lane is just too hard and too slick. Josh?
Well, it's crazy the difference we can make for Carson Hocevar. Got his first career win last week in the 42 down in Texas. This week, not happy with that truck right now, having a power steering issue as you see them under the hood trying to diagnose what's wrong and how they can fix it right now. As far as Caden Honeycutt, having a great day so far. He was good in the heat races, strong in this as well. Finished 4th in stage number 1, just dealing with some overheating issues right now, guys.
Yeah, we saw that smoke out of Carson Hocevar's truck right at the caution flag at the end of the stage, and obviously power steering is the issue for him.
And they can fix that, get a line tightened up or if something broke, but you can see the crew member they're working on it.
Everything is so hot down there too. It sounds easy to change a line or something like power steering line or something like that. You can see the smoke now. Obviously, the fluid getting on the headers.
Just been a struggle. And now you have insult to injury there with the problem under the hood.
He had such a good truck here last year, led a bunch of this race. Hopefully if they can get that power steering issue fixed, then he can make his way back towards the front.
Stage 1 is complete. Joey Logano gets the win. We remind you, last 2 years here at Bristol on the dirt, the winner of stage 1 also won stage 2 and went on to win the race. NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series about ready to go. Stage number 2. Pit stops are complete. How about that opening stage for Caden Honeycutt? We've been talking about him all day long, and he deserves every bit of it.
Yeah, let's see if we can chat with him. Hey, Caden Honeycutt, Phil Parsons and the boys in the Fox booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do. Hello, Fox Nation.
Hello there, buddy. We were really impressed with the job you did in the heat race, and man, you're carrying it over here to the main event. That truck looks awesome. Doing a great job, bud. How is it?
And I'll tell you, be able to race with these guys, it's just a level of confidence that I needed very badly. It's just, I don't know, there's something different about being able to run up front, and I don't know what it is, but hopefully we got something good for the end.
Caden, it's Waltrip with these guys. I've just been impressed with you all year long. You do a great job, and I'm glad that everybody in Fox Nation, as you called them, gets to see you shine your talent.
Well, Michael, I've been a fan for you a long time, and, I've dreamed of being able to talk to you guys as another level of greatness, so still got a long way to go. Still got guys to race and guys to go up there and fight for the win and see if I can get a playoff spot, maybe run full time for the rest of the year, so we'll see what we can do.
All right, buddy, we'll be watching. Great job.
Appreciate it, guys. Fans, tune in. It's about to get crazy. That's for sure.
Hey, we have two in-race reporters. We've got Daniel Dye, who brings us the pictures, and Caden gives the stories.
He should be in the promo department. Hello, Fox Nation. Josh, what's up?
Yeah, just an update on the 42. They came in with those power steering issues, and they just figured out during that last stop that the high power line was busted. They got it all fixed up, and they said they should be good to go.
All right, he's got a long way to go to get back to the front. We'll keep an eye on that 42. Let's go back to last week. Dramatic finish at Texas. Carson Hocevar, first career win.
Yeah, Nick Sanchez had dominated that race, but unfortunately got turned around there at the very end. And Carson was in the right place at the right time, had a great truck all day, and finally got that win in his owner Al Neese's home state.
Yeah, that's right. So happy for Carson and Al Neese. They've put so much effort in, and he's been able to deliver behind the wheel. 4 second-place finishes before that big win, and so fun spending some time up at the Al Neese Motorsports shops and getting to celebrate the win with Hocevar and his guys.
I saw Al down in the garage area this morning, and I said, "Hey, congratulations." He said, "Well, I didn't do anything. It was all the boys that said, believe me, you had everything to do with it. Wasn't for you, they wouldn't be here."
Worldwide Express hoping to buy some tires and sponsorship. Got to have those sponsors and a great owner like Al Neese to make it all work.
Amanda?
One of those runner-ups for Carson Hocevar was last year here. You'll remember Ben Rhodes stole the win from him. I reminded Ben of that today in the heartbreak that Carson faced, and he said, "I like breaking hearts around here." Well, Ben Rhodes has found himself all the way up to 18th after being 32nd after that wreck in stage 1.
There you see the choose drone flying over the track, and the drivers will choose inside, outside.
We had 3 trucks, I believe, stay out, led by Matt DiBenedetto, Brett Holmes, and I believe maybe Tanner Gray in the 15 all stayed out.
I like staying out right now. I mean, we saw a lot of even trucks. The parity, as we spoke of earlier, is there. If you can gain that track position, it might give you the chance just to stay there.
Here's the other thought. Halfway makes this race official. That's lap 75. We know that there's been some precipitation in and around Bristol, East Tennessee. So you stay out here, you got the track position. Maybe you get some rains, and this race becomes official and opens the door to a win for one of those drivers.
Without a doubt, you can go at least 120, 30 laps here anyway, so it's a long time before those trucks would have to come down pit road.
You know, this is a dirt expert, Jonathan Davenport. He knows what he's looking for. What's he want to see here, Phil?
I think he wants to see how his tire is wearing. More than likely, I don't know if that would be, see if it's marked there, if we can tell whether that's a left side or a right side, but he wants to see how the wear is, and see those that's a block pattern that Goodyear brings here.
Well, I just think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, he probably knows more about dirt than anybody on that pit crew, because he lives that life.
He's currently scored 21st. See if he can make his way through this field.
Caden Honeycutt said it's about to get good. I'm sure our in-race reporter knows what he's talking about. Gray DiBenedetto in the front row.
Look at that move by Logano. We talked about how strong he is on these restarts. Already to the outside.
Honeycutt going with him.
That's a great plan. Brett Holmes hanging well.
Yeah, top 3 trucks, as we talked about, stayed out. They were solid on the restart. Matty D on point.
Talked to a lot of the crew chiefs. They said last year the tires really didn't fall off much. But again, such a different tire, polar opposite tire here with a radial versus a bi-splay. They really didn't know how much they would fall off here. Looks like right now Matty D's saying these tires are pretty good.
Yeah.
Seeing him out front here takes me back to the Cup race. Was it like 2016 when he nearly won here driving for Levine? That was a magical night.
Look at this battle inside the top 10. They're 3 wide. Haley Deegan hanging in there with Crafton. And then this battle up front. Give Holmes the second spot in that 32 truck.
Yeah, Joey hasn't been able to dispatch with any of the 3 trucks that stayed out. Trying to work his way underneath Tanner Gray. He had about a half a truck width that time.
And he fit a hole in there. Now he's going to run into him.
Well, you know who's spotting for Tanner Gray. It's Coleman Presley, who is Joey's spotter tomorrow. 3 wide, and there's a spinner, Christian Eckes in the 19.
Oh, fortunately, everybody made their way around him. There's the caution.
Yep. Took a minute, but we finally get our 4th caution of the night.
Left rear tire down on Eckes' truck. We have seen a ton of left rear tires go down.
I think it could be just the tires a little bit wider, and with all the bounce and the way the truck moves around in this Tennessee clay,
or if somebody gets into your
or
left
somebody
rear,
runs into you,
that might have something to do with it as well.
Both of them will do it, and that's what happened that time. Ben Rhodes just scraped the side of the 19 and blew his tire out.
Rhodes from 18th to 16th on the restart.
Nice job by Jonathan Davenport, just squeezing around the outside.
And there, our in-race reporter Daniel Dye drove around the outside of Eckes when he turned around.
Daniel Dye is working for Fox Nation.
See, there's Daniel going
Look
by
how
right now.
Close that was. This is the move that started it all. And that's just short track racing. It doesn't matter if it's dirt or asphalt. You're going to have that kind of competition. Watch what Daniel Dye saw. This is going to be eye-opening, I guarantee you. Remember I said you couldn't change directions in a hurry? Whoa.
I love how he just eased into the brake, because there's a lot of rear brake in these trucks. If you stomp on the brake, the rear wheels are going to slide, and his truck would have turned around. He really did a nice job of modulating that brake.
Fourth caution of the night for Christian Eckes, who went for a spin. Matt DiBenedetto leading at Bristol. Tomorrow, the NASCAR Cup Series is here on the dirt track at Bristol for some bumper-to-bumper mudslinging action, sponsored by Coyote Tractors. Coverage begins 5:30 on FS1, over to Fox at 6. You can also watch it on the Fox Sports app. Here's Josh Sims.
Let's get an update on 25 of Matty D, one of the drivers that elected to stay out, and right now he's led 10 laps. And this is a guy that called last year's race when he got his truck hooked to the 22, one of the lowest points of his career. Fast forward to this year, and he's leading laps right now. His only complaint is just a little too tight, so they told him to back up his entry, and he shouldn't lose any speed, should still be able to hold on to the front.
Yeah, Josh was talking. He literally got stuck to another truck, and they had to throw the caution. They stopped on the racetrack. It took them 8 laps to get them unhooked. It just ruined their night.
Wasn't that Austin Wayne Self he got stuck to, the number 22 truck?
Yeah.
DiBenedetto goes outside. Door is open for Logano on the front row, down on the inside.
Man, I don't know if I'd have given Joey the bottom, but I'm sure Matty D is going to be determined to say that was the right thing to do. But Joey's just been so strong down there.
Zane Smith making it 3 wide.
I don't think Matt wanted to give the outside either.
Look at Matt drive that thing. A lot of momentum off the turn, but Joey's just so good.
I think Joey beats him through this corner. Look at that little spurt of power up off the corner for Joey.
Almost looks like he's going to come to a stop and then boom, just explodes off the corner. Talking about Joey Logano.
Look at that 15 truck behind this 2-wide battle for third. That's Tanner Gray, and he is coming. Strong run for Tanner.
I thought Majeski was going to get Holmes, and then all of a sudden, as you said, here comes Gray. Honeycutt back in the picture.
You know, a lot of dirt experience for Brett Holmes over at the Talladega short track, racing against Red Farmer over there and those guys.
Racing Red Farmer on the red clay.
On the red clay in Alabama.
Hey, this is just an entertaining match to watch, seeing everybody using different lines, and heck, we've seen a little bit of strategy, and even though we didn't know if we would or not. What will we see at the end of this first stage, at the next stage?
I think Adam may be right. They may have looked at the weather and said, hey, this race may not go the distance.
I'm going to tell you my opinion of the weather. It might get a sprinkle or two, but we're going to get all 150 laps.
Good.
Meteorologist Michael Waltrip working for Fox Nation tonight.
Oh, look at Jonathan Davenport. You see that 42? They were under the hood of that truck for Carson Hosmar. They got it all tuned up. And let's go 3 wide with Daniel Dye.
And Eckes is trying to make his way, and he makes contact with Daniel Dye. Moves him almost up into the wall.
Eckes said, it's time to go. I lost my track position. There might be some rain moving in. Turn up the wick in the 19.
Oh, another left rear tire. Yeah, Nick Sanchez, another left rear tire. Hard for him. Trucks all the way around the racetrack. It's hard for him to get down.
We see the 2, 3, 4 wide battling and a lot of scrubbing going on. Maybe that got that truck.
Yeah, that's going to put him at least a couple laps down. Tough break for Nick Sanchez.
Was running 15th. Heartbreak last week in Texas. Dominated, won both stages. Involved in that big crash there at the white flag.
Majeski takes that second spot away, Adam.
Tires starting to pay off a little bit.
You wonder, but you also have to understand that Majeski and Logano have been the class of the field, and Matt uses some strategy, and so he's still hanging right in there. I like the move a lot.
The plus minus of it is really good. The question becomes, you know, what is their strategy at the end of the stage? Because everybody else is already did it.
That's what I was just thinking about. You know, this race is only 150 laps. That's only 75 miles. We know these trucks go about 90 miles on a mile and a half. I would think their fuel mileage would be pretty good on this dirt track. Could we go all the way without stopping?
Interesting. Look at Stewart starting to make some moves. Caden Honeycutt there in the middle of 3 wide. Got a caution
out. It's our 5th one of the night.
Tyler Carpenter around. You see the damage to the left front from earlier.
He's had a little bit of everything here tonight. Carpenter, the dirt racer out of Parkersburg, West Virginia.
Trying to get that truck refired.
I was over at the niche shop to film that piece with Hocevar earlier this week, and Tyler was sitting in the truck, had a smile from ear to ear, getting ready to become racing with NASCAR here at Bristol.
Honeycutt, 10th right now.
No, if it's air pressure, they're hitting each other, but I've never seen so many blown tires in my life. Air pressure, man. It's air pressure because they're hitting those ruts and it's just destroying them. All it is. There's no B-lock on it, so there's nothing to protect it.
Well, we've seen the case of scrubbing have a tire go flat, but also so many tires that go flat with the low air pressures and the way they hit the ruts and bounce around, it just pulls the tire off the rim. Hey, there's the Swifter. Hey, he's got it going on, doesn't he? Hang 10 car wash, got him a Swifter in there.
He's going to have to take that truck to Hang 10 car wash when this race is over, no doubt.
Isn't it funny all the things you have to do as a race car driver that you never thought you'd do as a race car driver?
I never thought we'd be doing this, racing on the dirt at Bristol, but here we are.
There's those ruts I talked about. That'll bounce a tire off the wheel if you hit it wrong.
You know, the other thought is just adapting to change. And, you know, no practice yesterday for these teams. They were supposed to get almost 90 minutes. That was washed out. You got the 15 laps earlier today. Other than that, man, it's just been figure it out as you go along. And as we know, not only you get the 15 laps in the heat, but that track was totally different than what we're going to see here tonight, not to mention the changes this track will go through over the course of the event.
Caught a glimpse of the 24, Raja Caruth, a flat tire, obviously, as he made his way down pit road. There he is there.
Had a great run in his heat race.
Left front tire down on Raja's truck.
So he can just change
that
tire per NASCAR rule.
Yeah, NASCAR will allow a damaged tire or a flat tire to be changed without penalty.
The only time you can change all 4 tires, fuel the truck, is at the stage breaks.
That could do some damage to his undercarriage there with all that sparks and metal dragging the ground.
Sway bar arms and stuff down there.
You see this happening, and I talked to Raja today, and I said, what do you need more of? Still looking for that first top 10. He said, luck. We just, fast trucks, wrong place, wrong time. Amanda?
You're taking a look at the 98 of Ty Majeski. This is just his 3rd ever dirt race. And you talk about adaptability. He said that's what he's doing every single one of these races. The truck tonight is feeling a little snug, and he's still saying to his team that the track is slick. But you go back to fall last year, Ty won here and said it was the honor of his life, as this was the first race he ever came to as a kid. And he said it was probably 2003, but he bought a t-shirt that said, I'm short and fast, just like Bristol.
You hear the story on Ty Majeski. Now let's check out the radio of teammate Joey Logano.
I think I'm having an electrical issue here. Shutting off every now and again on me here.
That didn't sound like Joey, did it? Did y'all? Is that what y'all heard?
I couldn't tell. I see him adjusting the brake bias in the truck a little bit.
Halfway through our second stage, Joey Logano won the opening stage, came down pit road, got his service, restarted fourth because there were 3 trucks that stayed out, but was able to grab the top spot. He's led 53 of our 66 laps here tonight, and restarts alongside Matt DiBenedetto, who played strategy, led 11 laps early in our second stage. The only other driver to lead tonight is Ty Majeski, and he restarts third. Amanda talking about his win here last fall on the concrete. That began an unbelievable run of the last 10 races. You know, the last 5 last year, first 5 this year for Majeski. It's been a coming out party for the driver out of Wisconsin.
Sure has had a great start to the season, as you mentioned, this year. For sure, one of our championship contenders, no doubt.
See country music star Tim Duggar riding along with Majeski. See if he can take him to victory lane. We'll sing down there. Another rocket ship start for Joey Logano.
I think maybe the outside groove has a little bit of advantage maybe on the initial start. You think, Michael?
I think Joey Logano has an advantage on the initial get-go. He just pulls away and then stabilizes out front. You can see Majeski's going to be able to get up by DiBenedetto as well.
Stuart Friesen's trying to get that top groove worked in. Look at him all the way to the top in that red 52 truck.
And you know, you said it, Phil, early. This track will change all night long, and there's a chance that top could be better now than the bottom, and Stewart's going to be the first one to figure it out. There's that 15 truck of Tanner Gray. Great job for him tonight.
Look at all the momentum that Friesen gets off the corner. Doesn't gain much through the middle. Obviously, a longer way to go around the racetrack.
That right rear is about to kiss the wall.
Isn't that fun to watch? And by the way, I just got confirmation from producer Mark Smith that is Joey Logano saying he's got some engine issues.
Electrical issue he was talking about.
Yeah, that's interesting. He's got such a fast truck. We'll see if that comes back to bite him before it's over.
Friesen's going to third right now.
You know, he's just driving so much harder right now because he's trying to go that longer distance, so he's using more gas, and he's making it work.
15 is Tanner Gray. Friesen to the outside. William Byron starting to get after it in the 51 by Matt DiBenedetto, and he will try to get up to fourth. Crossover on Gray.
Yeah, William was following Stuart Friesen, but then Gray blocked him, so he said, that's all right, I can do it on the bottom.
Back straightaway bottom.
6th caution of the night. Chris Wright is the problem on the back straightaway.
A couple problems for the 0-2 tonight.
Chris had an issue in the heat race as well.
Ooh, this could end his night. That right front wheel's all bent in. Chances are there's a lot of suspension damage. You can see the tire is towed in.
Look at all the damage to the wheel as well.
See if we can check out what happens from...
Certainly it's going to be Daniel Dye's on board and we're going to get a view.
Oh, like he came up into the 12 a little. I mean, it's hard to tell, but there was some contact, it looked like, from the 12.
We definitely saw the 12 move like he was run into.
12's his teammate.
Yeah, Chris was able to get that truck refired and head towards pit road.
You know, I'm looking at that scoring pylons. Some interesting names right around 10th. Chase Purdy in the 10th position, coming off a great run last week. Chase Briscoe is back there, and don't look now, Ben Rhodes back inside the top 15. Joey Logano, your leader at Bristol. Past halfway in Bristol, Tennessee for the Craftsman Truck Series. Going to be just over 10 laps to go in stage 2. When we get the restart, let's get a report on Stuart Friesen, third right now, Josh.
Yeah, and you remember early on in the race, Stuart Friesen was not happy with the way that motor was running. Well, they got him fixed up, and he's running third right now. Very happy with that truck. He asked the team about the tires, asked them how they look. They said there's really no wear on the tires. So he said, yeah, I don't want to have to come back in and get more tires. Track position is premium, Amanda.
Well, other people are taking notice of how Stewart is doing. Joey Logano was on the radio with this team wanting to know how Stewart ended that last little bit there. Said, what was his speed? They said he was in traffic, but kind of matched you there at the bottom. And Joey said, thanks, guys, I got it.
Got their eye on Stewart, and they better have. He's found another groove. Matching lap times, as was reported to Joey Logano. I'd want to know what was going on with 52, wouldn't you, Phil?
Absolutely. And the front three trucks all took the outside that allowed William Byron to pull up to the inside of Logano for this restart.
He said, I'll take the front row, thank you very much.
I think he could take anywhere on the restarts. He's just that much better on the short run. I think that 66 truck can make either lane work.
Yeah.
Hey, it's been a while, and I know it was in a Cup car, but those two haven't always played nice on the front row, Byron Logano. You know?
Are you talking maybe about Darlington last year?
Yeah.
You're not trying to startle something, are you, Adam?
Wouldn't do it. I like them.
Don't manufacture anything here, Adam.
You're just saying.
If I needed to infuse a little energy into the show, keep an eye on the 66 and the 50.
What if you got on this radio and called up Blaney and said, Blaney, I'd watch that guy on the inside of you. He remembers Darlington.
Yeah, they have a history.
The only way this could be better is if Coleman was spotting for the 51 instead of the 15. Then we'd really have something, wouldn't we?
I like the 15, too, there on the bottom in the second row. Gray's done an awesome job tonight.
Maybe mentioned some rain, but this race is now official. We're past halfway. Going to be 11 to go, stage 2, as we hit the green flag.
Look at that launch that Logano gets again. 2-3 truck links. Look at Stewart on the outside.
He went right back to where he was making that ground out, but he's going to take the middle. No, he thinks he likes the top.
Tanner Gray not afraid. Matt DiBenedetto tried to shove it in there.
Remember, we talk about Tanner Gray all the time, the fact that he was a drag racer, pro stock champion. Well, he races a lot at Millbridge, too. He has a micro that he races at Millbridge. He's won over there before, so he gets a little bit of dirt experience.
Ben Rhodes hanging on in the 99.
Needed a little space and didn't get it. And look at Corey Heim. He's been fast all night. He's getting himself into the action. What did Caden Honeycutt say? It's going to get exciting, Fox Nation. And you can see 3 wide, nearly 4 wide a couple of times.
Here comes Kligerman, too, in that 75 truck. Top 5 here last year for Kligerman.
Carson Hosevar right behind Kligerman that you mentioned, Phil. After fixing his power steering, he's getting into contention. I'm having fun. Y'all having fun?
Mm-hmm.
How could you not?
It's just so entertaining.
There's Ben Rhodes, too, trying to make his way back towards the top 10. I think Ben's being shown right now in the 11th spot.
Racing with Grant Enfinger, who in 7 truck starts on dirt has never finished outside the top 10. Veteran driver out of Alabama.
I just don't know about this lane that Friesen's trying to make work. I mean, he's given it his all, but it just seems like the shorter way around maybe is a little bit better.
He's trying to clean that top off. When everyone runs around the bottom, he gets all the marbles up there in the middle and the top of the racetrack. He's trying to keep that lane clean.
And he's making it work.
I wonder, too, if over the long haul, and we really haven't had a long run tonight, maybe he's putting a little knowledge in the bank for the final stage.
Adam, I love that thinking. He's a dirt racer. He knows what's going on that racetrack. He knows those marbles, the dirt's sliding up the hill. He wants to keep it fresh, and maybe it's an option for him later.
Logano leads. He's there's Parker Kligerman off the pace.
It's like right front tires down for Parker.
He's going to be able to get it back to pit road. We stay green.
Whoa, looks like he broke a rotor or something.
Broke a rotor or a hub or something like that. Doesn't look like the tire, really. Great battle here for second.
I mean, you got the reigning Cup champ leading. You got William Byron, who's won twice this year in a Cup car, and right in his hip pocket, Ty Majeski. How talented is this driver? Championship 4 a season ago, and he slides to second in front of Byron. Going to be 2 to go on the stage this time by.
You can see that gray spot right where the right side tires of these trucks, when they run the bottom, you see how dark it's getting there. That will get really slippery. Tony Stewart and Clint Boyer were telling me when you see that discoloration.
Stewart said not only will it get slippery, it can start to create tire wear. So you have to be careful of that. one more time around, stage 2. Joey Logano won the opening stage. 2 years ago, Martin Truex swept the stages, won the race. Last year, Ben Rhodes won stage 1, stage 2, went on to capture the checkered flag. The sweep tonight is going to go to the man that won the Cup title last year. Joey Logano wins our second stage. Majeski second, Byron third, Friesen finishes fourth. DiBenedetto, who's going to have to pit here, played strategy, was fifth. Tanner Gray, Matt Crafton, Zane Smith, Chase Briscoe, Brett Holmes, the top 10.
Will they roll the dice and maybe stay out and say maybe we have enough fuel?
But from a rules perspective, is it mandated that you have to
stop at least once? Yeah, so they will definitely have to stop.
That's 7 cautions tonight. Didn't get one for Parker Kligerman, who made the unscheduled stop as we wrapped up our second stage. Stage 1, Stage 2 complete for the Craftsman Truck Series. Here on the dirt at Bristol, Ty Majeski didn't get a win, but boy, did he put some points on the board. A pair of second-place finishes, 18 points on top of what has already been, as we said, a great start to the year. Matt Crafton solid. Good effort for Stuart Friesen. Caden Honeycutt, who stole the show. 7 stage points for him. Zane Smith, a pair of wins this year. He was able to get 6 stage points in our first 2 stints of the race here tonight.
See a number of trucks coming down pit road, but I think more trucks are staying on the racetrack, it looks like.
Yeah, the first 10, 15 for sure, Phil. There you see.
Some of them had to pit because they stayed out at the end of stage 1, and so you knew you would have to come here. Others had already pitted, said we want the track position, and that was what we felt like was the winning strategy. Pit at the end of stage 1, stay out at the end of stage 2.
Yeah, but you know, Adam, this changes things up. We've seen Joey have the dominant truck. He's now not going to have the best tires on the track. Will that make a difference as this track begins to take all the rubber onto the road? Does it burn off the tire rubber sooner? We'll have to hang around and see.
The one thing he's got going for him is all that insurance behind him, the trucks that have stayed out with him, and that makes such a huge difference.
But we've seen 3 and 4 wide. You get on the right side of that, you can pick up some spots in a hurry.
Remember last year, Ben Rhodes restarted 13th at the end of the second stage, and he went on to win the race.
And 14 drivers have stayed out here at the end of stage 2. The signal has been given. Pit stops can begin. Let's go there now.
Let's start with the 25 of Matt DiBenedetto. The team told him the good news is you got some good stage points in that. The bad news is you got to come in and lose that track position. But the good thing for Matty D is having a pretty good run here tonight. He needs a little more help with that truck, so he's having to use the brakes a little bit too much. As far as Tanner Gray in the 15, a strong run for him. He's starting to struggle getting in on entry. They're going to tighten him up just a little bit to help him out, Amanda.
Joey Logano and Ty Majeski both decided to stay out. Both feel like that the truck is coming around to them as well as the track. There were a couple teams on pit road, including Matt Crafton, that wanted to make the decision based on what truck stayed out, and they elected to stay out as well. But when you think of staying out and standing up, those are the fans here in Bristol.
Logano, great tonight, wins both stages. Has led 78 of our 90 laps. Matt DiBenedetto, who stayed out at the end of stage 1, 11 laps out front. Ty Majeski has also led a lap. Michael, you'd look good behind the wheel of that
I've been doing a lot of yard work lately, Adam. That thing caught my eye. What is that? And how's it work?
I'm sure you could fit in there, actually, with those long legs. Final stage on the way.
I'll be right down there. We're about ready to go racing.
The night is young.
It's going to be 100% every lap.
It's been an eventful night at Bristol Motor Speedway with Michael Waltrip, Phil Parsons. I'm Adam Alexander. Joey Logano leading this thing on the dirt at Thunder Valley. We're ready for the final stage. And one of the stars of the show has been Ty Majeski. Second place at the end of stage 2.
Want to see if we can dial him up?
I think we should.
Let's do it. Hey, Ty Majeski, Phil Parsons, and the boys in the Fox booth. You got a copy?
Phil, how are you doing up there?
Good, man. Not as good as you. That thing really looked like it's on rails. And I want to know, are you wearing that T-shirt that said you were short and fast that you bought here 20 years ago?
Sure is amazing how life comes full circle, yeah. First NASCAR race when I was about 6 or 7 years old here. Stay in the red barn campground, never forget it. But no, this Soda Sense Ford F-150 is running really good tonight. Obviously, Joey's really tough. I feel like we have a little bit more of a long run truck, so if we could just get going here and hopefully have a long run, hopefully we can have something for him.
Hey, Ty, it's Michael. I got a shirt that says I'm tall and slow, but that's a whole nother story. Tell me exactly what you see from that 66 truck that you need to be able to do better to beat him.
He just fires off better, Mike. He just gets going and then can pull me 10 truck lengths in the first 2 or 3 laps, and then I start slowly, methodically reeling him back in. So just need a long run here, I think. Like I said, this Soda Sense, brand new sponsor from my hometown. Motorsport truck is quick tonight. Like I said, I just think we need a long run.
All right, buddy. Take Soda Sense and Tim Duggar there. He's on your deck lid. Take them to victory lane.
Hey, 10-4, thanks, guys. Have a good one up there.
Michael, you said you're tall and slow.
Yeah.
Logano's kind of tall, but he's not
fast.
slow.
He's fast. He's a 2-time Cup champion. He's got it going on. And he's got it going on tonight. Just what we've said all night, Phil. He just jumps off the restarts faster than everybody, and that's exactly what Ty saw and agreed with. Now he's just got to figure out how to work his way back to him.
Yeah, he thinks if he can get a 30 or 40 lap run, maybe even a little bit more than that he might have something for him.
I wonder if Joey is pacing it, though. You know, I mean, maybe some false hope for the other competitors that he gets out there. He's a pretty smart driver now. Yeah, and just make sure that everything is where it needs to be.
Let's see if he's explaining something to the team right now. See if we can ease in there. Joey, it's the Fox Boys. You copy?
I got you. What's happening?
We're just so impressed with the way you fire off on these restarts. Have you got more if you need it once you get 10, 15 laps on the tires?
We'll have to wait and see. A long enough run will probably tell that story, but the Hank 10 F150 is ripping pretty good, and we'll hope to keep her up here and keep some clean air on her.
How's your spotter doing?
He's doing great. He's he's a wealth of knowledge up there. You know, he's giving me some good info what the competitors are doing, and keeping me calm as a seat. He's doing good.
Yeah, we got him on the screen right now. He looks really confident.
Oh, I'm sure he looks really cold.
And cold.
That's what I was going to say. Buy him some gloves, would you?
Yeah, we'll talk to you. Adam said buy him some gloves. Have a fun rest of your way. We won't bother you anymore.
All right. Have fun up there.
You know, the one thing we haven't talked about, and not a lot anyway, because it hasn't been a factor with all the cautions, is Logano hasn't had to deal with lap traffic a lot tonight, you know, and that's something over the long haul that could be a factor here in the final stage.
I don't think any truck has been lapped tonight. They've had some trucks that have had trouble, flat tires, and their laps down, but I don't think we've seen any lapping go on the racetrack yet.
But that would mean that Logano's spotter, Ryan Blaney's got a little work to do, because so far he just jumps off the line, as Michael said, and drives away.
He talks to him for about 2 corners, and then he doesn't have to talk anymore.
I think Blaney's just chomping at the bit to work him through lap traffic. He wants him to get in some battles so he can really show his skills of what it would be like if Brian Blaney was a full-time spotter instead of a driver.
I think he'd stick with driving. I think he'd just as soon stick with driving.
I think he's got a few more years left in him.
Yeah. I wonder where Josh Williams is tonight. Josh is Blaney's spotter.
He spots for Zane Smith.
Oh, there you go. So I was hoping that he could be listening in, because that would be good education for him to say, all right, now you know. It's not as easy as you thought. Instead, he's trying to win with Zane Smith. Amanda?
Another guy leading his talents into spotting is none other than Kyle Larson. Rajah Caruth reached out to him ahead of this race, calling him the best dirt racer of all time, and wanted to see if he could help him out here tonight. When I talked to Rajah earlier, he showed me an entire YouTube playlist of videos of only Kyle Larson. So Kyle telling Rajah some insight tonight. Take a listen.
Just not have enough wheel spin when you get to the center. So I'm spinning tires more and I can sustain, is what you're saying? Yeah, I just think you need a little more wheel spin in the corner. Not too much, because it's easy to spin out, but enough to just stay turning.
What an absolutely special relationship. Michael, Phil, did you guys have mentors along the way as well?
Yeah. We both
had
did.
brothers.
We both had big brothers that meant the world to us. Ever since I've been on this earth, I wanted to be able to do what my big brother did, and that vision and that focus that he gave me, and I know it's a lot like you too, Phil, it's priceless.
Yeah, and Raja, you talked about the YouTube. He's a student of this sport. He really works hard at it. Has a lot of speed. I'm really looking for him to have some great runs in this 24 truck. Maybe even tonight. He stayed on the lead lap even with that flat tire.
Ready for the final stage. Logano up front with his teammate Ty Majeski. Watch Matt Crafton coming from row 2 with William Byron.
And look at Chase Briscoe up into the mix as well. And that red 22 truck right behind bright yellow Crafton 88.
I keep getting Friesen and Briscoe confused. The red 52, the red 22. And they're both racing right there together.
Majeski's going to be able to ease up in front of William Byron. Williams going to try to cross him over to get the inside. Ty said, no, sir. I'm on the bottom.
Look at Friesen still hanging it out up high. Chase Briscoe likes that look too. He's giving it a go. Ben
Rhodes has crept back into the conversation. There he is in that bright orange 99.
And Carson Hocevar.
3 wide. Enfinger in the 23, Hocevar in the blue and yellow 42.
Adam, they're getting ready to be 4 wide. I can feel it. They've been so close so many times.
Look at Chase Purdy in the 4 hanging around.
Is that a little moisture I'm seeing on our camera lens?
It looks like it. I thought when we had the onboard on the restart of Logano, looked like there was a little bit of moisture on the front of his roof.
That'll change the way these trucks handle. See a little dust, so we got a ways to go before that water is going to make much difference. But like I said, it'll transition into changing some things.
Chase Briscoe's trying that same line that Stewart was running earlier.
Is that driving by the feel of the truck? Feel in the wall with the right rear?
Right rear corner.
It's looks like sparks there.
This is good stuff.
Josh?
Hey guys, so remember Chase Briscoe was actually racing with the left middle finger that he broke when he was doing some dirt late model racing, and we got a wreck on the track, guys.
Caution number 8, giving praise to Chase Purdy. He's involved. 19 of Christian Eckes.
I think Zane was involved as well in the 38 truck.
Not a lot of damage on the 4 truck of Purdy. He's able to drive away. See some sheet metal damage on the bottom. Something's wrong with the right front of that truck. Looks like it hung in the ground.
Purdy was 9th, so he really was doing some positive things.
I think he'll live to race a few more laps. See what happens here with the 4 truck here on the outside.
Keep an eye on the 38 here of Zane.
Oh, Zane got in the corner a little bit better. Did Purdy have a problem on entry there? He let off pretty early.
I'm not sure. I think too early. Zane didn't think he was going to let off that early. And then you see Christian came in with nowhere to go. And he runs into Zane.
Look at Caden. Wow, Caden barely got to the bottom.
DeBenedetto did a really nice job as well.
It's weird looking. He let off about the same. It looked like you saw the fire come out of the pipe, and they both let off about the same point of the track. But Zane didn't expect the 4 truck to slow that much, and he just got ate up on the right side by Eckes. I'd be surprised if it didn't mess up that suspension on that 38 truck. As you see the guys just barely slipping by on the bottom.
Yeah, Chase may have backed off a touch early, but it didn't look like it was very noticeable. But Christian came by with nowhere to go when Zane turned sideways right in front of him.
There you see Dean Thompson sliding through. Dean's remained in the top 20, doing a nice job.
So Daniel Dye will have another great look at that as well.
Sorry, checked up way more than I thought on entry. Yeah, 10-4. I'm not sure why he did. There was nothing in front of him.
That was Josh Williams.
Yeah, that was Josh
talking
Williams,
about spotting for Zane. And, that may have been one of the first times that Chase had run up high. He may have been running the bottom, so he may have been a little tentative getting in the corner up on the high side.
I thought I might have saw the left front tire lock up a little bit too. So maybe with the different entry of the corner, it just wasn't what he expected. And I agree. He checked up way more than did Zane expect.
Caution number 8, just over 50 laps remaining on the dirt at Bristol. Zane Smith involved. Chase Purdy going for a ride. Christian Eckes nowhere to go. Next Saturday, we have Major League Baseball on FS1 of the Fox Sports app. Let's do a little Brewers and Padres. Coverage begins 4 Eastern time. Baseball is back, and we've got it for you every weekend on the Fox family of networks. Josh, you were so rudely interrupted. Finish your story on Chase Briscoe and the adversity he's facing tonight.
Yeah, well, that's right, Adam. And he broke his left middle finger in a dirt late model race the other day. He was really concerned coming into the night that he would feel it and he wouldn't be able to race his normal way at least. But he said after the heat races earlier and then the heat races on the Cup side, his hand felt all right and he felt good enough to race. He's going to have surgery later this week, but for now, everything is going as the plan other than having that brace on for Chase Briscoe.
There's Norm Benning having a pretty good night. 23rd on the lead lap.
And just, I imagine in that truck, he's smiling ear to ear, isn't he, Phil?
He's been smiling all day, especially when he made this feature event.
48 to go as we get the restart. Cup drivers up front. Logano, Byron. Joey gets the jump.
Joey got such a good jump that Majeski was able to clear William Byron as well.
Williams settles in the 3rd spot. Stewart's trying mightily to make that top side work, as is behind him Chase Briscoe.
I want a long run here. I want to find some rhythm in this race, and I want to see what that 98 has for the 66.
Let's just go green the rest of the way.
Let's do it.
Look at Jake Garcia down on the bottom.
Battling for a top 10 spot.
Jake's climbing into the top 10. Corey Heim with another good run.
Jake coming off a top 5 last week. You can't get more different than a mile and a half at Texas and on the dirt at Bristol. And this young driver is impressing.
And remember, Las Vegas was the first time he was ever on a mile and a half. He just turned 18.
Adam, I talked to him that morning of the race at Las Vegas, 18 years old. He said, I'm scared, Mike, a little bit. I said, well, you ought to be. I mean, it's going to be wild. You've never seen anything like this before. Now he's getting in his comfort zone and doing a great job.
Ben Rhodes battling for the 5th spot with Grant Enfinger. There's Stewart. Red truck on the high side. He's committed to that top.
Yeah, he's lost a couple of spots lately, but I want to I'm going to keep my eye on those two. They know a lot about dirt racing.
If you look at the scoring pylon, 4th to 7th right now is a nice snapshot of the truck series and those who deliver over and over when we race on dirt. Pretty impressive.
There's Haley Deegan in the middle. Oh, she saw that hole closing.
That was a good decision, I think, right there.
Look at Daniel Dye.
Bouncing off the wall.
He's been running that high lane, and that's the first time he's messed up, but it was just traffic that got him out of his rhythm. Tell you what I like about Danny. He's persistent. Like, he's going to make mistakes. He's going to get in some binds, but he will keep fighting until he gets a good finish. A lot of damage to that Ford truck in the last crash, but he's maintaining some decent speed.
He is being shown 1 lap down as Chase Purdy.
Haley Deegan gets into the outside wall as Caden Honeycutt goes by, as well as Dean Thompson in the 5.
Thompson working on a top 15 finish as we see the yellow flag again. Caution number 9.
Ford truck with a flat left rear.
So much for that go green to the checkered flag.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's get one this time. We can still pull for another one. See if anybody's learned anything on these multiple restarts that gives them the opportunity to compete with Joey Logano. Talked about Daniel's persistence. He's always there for us. Watch this.
The left rear tire already down for Chase Purdy. Daniel does a great job just negotiating his way by. Like Timmy Hill really made a nice move in that 56 truck to avoid Purdy.
Yeah, I can't emphasize enough how hard it is to make those abrupt moves when something goes wrong in front of you. The truck just doesn't change directions that easily.
We saw it with Eckes earlier, right?
The brakes don't work that great either.
You look at that top 10, and there are a handful of drivers there that have faced some kind of problem tonight, and undoubtedly would feel really good to leave here with a top 5, top 10 finish. But you kind of know that's going to happen when you come to a track like this.
All these caution flags. This time, the free pass goes to Tanner Carrick. He gets back on the lead lap. Yeah. He got off to a rough start early, but he's now on the lead lap.
I was watching some highlights of his running the USAC and doing the sprint car thing in preparation for tonight's race. It's just amazing to me to watch these dirt regulars that do it all the time and how spectacular the moves are that they make, the situations they put themselves in. So it's good to see Carrick being rewarded here tonight, back on the lead lap and trying to make something out of what has been a bit of a challenging day. Well, I said off the top, it's short track season in NASCAR. Tonight racing on the dirt here at Bristol. Next Friday night, we're on a paperclip, Martinsville. This is a track that is just made for the Craftsman Truck Series.
Yeah, we're going to have full contact there as well, just like we have tonight.
Race day starts 6:30 Eastern time here on FS1.
Always a great show at Martinsville.
Nothing cooler to me than a night race at Martinsville. You see the brakes going, full contact racing that you guys spoke of. Sparks will fly, tempers will flare.
Might have a fight or two on pit road after the race.
And somebody's going to walk away with one of the best trophies in all of NASCAR.
But we did have a fight last spring in the Xfinity Series there, and all 3 series racing next weekend at Martinsville. Friday night, reserved for the trucks. Saturday, the Xfinity Series, and on Sunday, all about NASCAR's top shelf. I would say Joey Logano will be a player then, and he's certainly been a player tonight, leading 100 of our 113 laps. That's a far cry from the show he put on here a handful of years ago in the Xfinity Series. You and I were doing the broadcast, Michael. He led them all that day.
That's exactly right. You know who ran second that day, Adam?
Daniel Suarez, right? Am I right?
And we were so impressed with Daniel because he was like 6 car lengths away from doing something really special, but he just couldn't ever quite get there. And it's like, how could it be like this?
We thought Daniel was going to get his first win that day. We thought he was going to get it at California when we had that crazy finish with Kyle Busch and Austin Dillon, and Daniel ran out of gas on the final lap. So some really good memories over the years.
All this is coming to the white flag, and there's people on fire crashing, and Adam's like, and the last lap is brought to you by Capital One.
Unbelievable.
The professional that he was, he was able to work that all in, and it was a quite chaotic last lap.
Well, your hair is on fire, right?
Inside of 40 to go.
All right, let's run to the end now.
I'm all for it. We've wrapped up our 9th caution. 2 of those for stage breaks, the other 7 for some kind of incident on track. And the front row here will be Logano and Byron. Majeski lines up behind Logano.
Can William do anything on this initial start?
We haven't seen it yet. I like Majeski lining up behind Logano, try to pace him.
Look at row 3, Infinger and Rhodes.
Big push from Matt Grafton.
Williams able to hang with Majeski. Majeski's going to have a little bit of momentum from the high side. He's going to grab that second spot with a little bit of a gap.
Slides in behind Logano. Byron has 3rd, side by side for 4th. Infinger, Crafton.
See, Crafton moved to the middle of the racetrack, middle to the high side. Stewart's up above that.
Stewart kind of peeking in the middle here. Chase Briscoe up high, scrubbing that right rear fender on the wall.
Stewart was able to make the pass on Ben Rhodes by going through the middle of the racetrack.
You see all this, Adam? This is why we're having all these cautions. These guys are at least 2 wide, sometimes 3 wide, and it's all the way from first to the back of the field. There's that much going on. Look at all that as you pan back and see all that action.
Zane Smith trying to fight his way back inside the top 20 right now.
Yeah, he's got it up to 19th.
Battle for 6th right here with Stuart Friesen, the 52, Ben Rhodes, the 99, Chase Briscoe, the 22, right behind them.
Adam, you said it. Those trucks look a lot alike, and they're deciding to race just alike, too. So it's kind of fun to see those 2 red trucks with white numbers up there running the same line. Everybody else ducked down to the bottom.
And they're no stranger to success when it comes to racing on the dirt. Briscoe from the high side to the low side, able to get around Ben Rhodes.
Corey Heim working that very bottom lane. Down in 1 and 3 and 4. Now he goes up to the middle.
Van Enter's moved to the top of the racetrack. The yellow, number 23 as well, yellow and black.
Near contact there. Near contact there as Ben Rhodes slid up, getting close to Briscoe, and that time a little too aggressive as he connected with the wall.
Just kissed the right rear corner on that wall.
Oh, man. Tyler Carpenter.
Caution number 10.
Timmy Hill, obviously is slow. More than likely involved. Pretty hard hit to the inside wall there for Tyler Carpenter.
Look at that left front. It's gone.
Jonathan Davenport in the 7, being scored 18th right now. He'll race here tomorrow night, driving that 13 car for Team Collie.
Looked good in his qualifying race, too. Ran very competitively. That's a big hit here on the dirt at Bristol.
Safety team is there. Window net is still up.
You see Tyler in there moving around.
Look how far it shifted the front end over.
I'm telling you, Phil, that's as big a damage as I thought we could see here.
Looks like he's taking the helmet off. So.
AMR safety team has made their way to Tyler Carpenter.
Good to see Tyler moving around, taking his helmet off, handing it to the safety team. Trying to figure out if something's wrong. Maybe they're thinking maybe they have a broken track bar or something like that. That track bar is what keeps the rear end centered in the truck. There's Tyler getting out of the car.
Oh, he's got a smile on him.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's good to see, huh?
That's what he looked like when I saw him the other day. I didn't figure that smile would still be there. But he's telling the crew that he's okay. See there, the blue truck. Just
overcooked it a little bit.
And he's gonna
make some contact with Timmy Hill.
He just raked his whole front end off.
And that slowed him down a little bit, and he still hit the inside wall hard.
Could see it ripped the radiator out of it as Hill went by. Let's go to Daniel Dye. He'll get us some good pictures of this.
Front row seat.
Look at there. Good job.
You know how many accidents Daniel's had to miss? All of them.
Tonight or like every week? We
Tonight,
see him
all of them.
flipping through many different wrecks.
I feel like every time the caution comes out, we get word from our producer, Mark Smith. All right, let's go on board now with Daniel Dye. Because as you said, every time it happens, he's in the vicinity. I said I saw sparks, and there it is with Chase Briscoe.
Our Fox Nation reporter, Caden Honeycutt, has leveled out in the 13th position. Just giving you an update.
We'll take a break. Closing on 20 laps to go at Bristol. It is, in fact, the Joey Logano Show. Hope you're enjoying your Easter weekend.
Oh, it's the bunnies.
Yeah, after the picnic tomorrow, the family dinner, you make that trip to church, come home, settle in, get ready for the Cup cars tomorrow night.
And this is the perfect dirt track for these NASCAR vehicles. We've seen great racing. We haven't seen any mud anywhere. We've seen all kinds of different lanes. I think tomorrow night's going to be a special night for NASCAR here at Bristol.
Coverage starts here on FS1, 5:30 Eastern Time, over to Fox at 6. Tonight, it's all about the Craftsman Truck Series. Joey Logano flexing his muscles, leading 116 of our 128 laps, winning stage 1 and stage 2.
We have to take our hat off to the track here. What an amazing job they have done this race with this racetrack.
Yeah.
Michael, you mentioned it earlier. We had a significant amount of rain yesterday, and this racetrack is so racy right now.
Everything I wanted to see.
Joey Logano has been perfect on restarts. In fact, he's dominated that aspect of the race.
And he's drugged the second place truck on the outside with him because he goes so fast, they just go with him. Take it. That's what a driver likes to hear, isn't it?
Majeski got a little bit of an assist there, didn't he? A little shove in the tail end of Joey Logano, pushed him out front. Logano off of turn 4 continues to lead. It's our Craftsman 20 to go at Bristol.
William Byron hanging right in there with Majeski side by side.
Oh, Ben overcooked it. Ben rode sideways trying to hang on, and we get another caution. Stewart freezing a part of that, so was Carson Hocevar.
Yeah, Ben's been hanging that thing out all night long, and he just overstepped the limits. I don't think there was any hard contact for most of those trucks. You can see some damage on Stewart's right front.
I say all 4 tires appear to be up on Stewart's truck.
Ah, darn it.
He slid that thing sideways, and I thought he's going to lose it, he's going to lose it, and someone almost got him. We'll have to see the replay. Almost got him in the front left to help him correct it, move it forward.
There's the damage on the Rhodes truck.
I think it was freezing, but we'll see. Heck of a job to try to save it after, as you guys said, he overcooked it in the corner.
Stewart's not happy.
It was just a matter of Ben just losing it.
And bam.
Yeah, it was freezing.
Corey Heim, Carson Hocevar. You see Jake Garcia doing a nice job avoiding that mess.
Carson gets rolling again. Took Ben and Stewart a while to get going.
That could be terminal for Stewart's chances to have a good finish. I think there's a lot of damage on both front tires on that truck.
And lost all the track position as well. And we still have 24 trucks on the lead lap right now, with only 18 laps to go.
Yeah, Friesen frustrated, appeared to be not happy with Rhodes. Is that just frustration? Because, I mean, that's just hard racing at that stage.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's frustration. You know, a guy spins out in front of you. You're like, what the heck? Keep your truck pointed in the right direction. Look at Carson just squeezing by.
I love the willingness, though, as you see the drivers involved here. And all of them were inside the top 10. I love the willingness for all of these guys to put it on the edge. And we've seen it, whether they're running the wall or, in this case, running right in the middle of the racetrack. Just throw it sideways and slide it off the corner.
Well, we see it. Phil and I, and you know, Adam, you've done it. We see it pretty much every week.
I guess it's not just a Bristol Dirt thing, is it?
I think it's these truckers. Those things come in handy a lot at a truck race.
When you do the inventory check at Bristol, you make sure you bring the hammer.
Let's see if we can try William Byron. Hey, William Byron, Phil Parsons and the guys up in the Fox booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, Phil, I got you.
You've done a great job. That truck's probably as straight as any truck out here. Do you have anything for Logano? He just shoots off on those restarts.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's definitely quick on the bottom. I feel like the bottom's kind of been a struggle for me during this race, but I think the top's good. So if we can get a few laps going, I feel like the top might have something up there.
William, is Michael. Can you tell the viewers how much fun this is? I mean, for us, it's just so entertaining, slipping and sliding and just trying to chase down the leader.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's just controlled chaos. You know, you're never straight with the wheel. You're always doing something and doing something with your pedals. And you know, I got a few adjusters in here with the brakes, so trying to do something different each restart. So yeah, it's a blast. It's something way different.
William, will you learn anything tonight that'll help you tomorrow night?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's helped me all day. So it definitely helped me in my heat race. Had a good heat race, so got to keep it up.
All right, buddy, doing a great job. Finish it off.
Yeah, man, appreciate y'all.
Byron, one of 5 drivers racing tonight that will also compete tomorrow night on Fox.
To the bottom of that list, Matt Crafton got a late call, I think, this week to jump in the 51 truck for Rick Ware.
He said controlled chaos. There are times where I feel like it is out of control. Yes.
Yeah, control wouldn't be all these cautions.
Josh?
Yeah, and it was a strong day for Corey Heim so far, but he wasn't able to avoid that wreck, and he's got a right front down, so he's going to have to come in and get that fixed, guys.
Man, that's a shame, Josh. He's been so fast, right there in the top 10, week in and week out. Does such a great job, and tonight going to have to come to pit road. Like you said, Phil, we're inside 20 to go. be hard to scramble back toward the front.
Caught a glimpse of the 25 of Matt DiBenedetto right behind Corey. Corey's going to have to come to pit road. That's going to move Matt up to the 9th spot. Remember, Matt stayed out at the end of the first stage, had to pit at the end of the second stage. Where 14 trucks stayed out. Matt has made his way back inside the top 10 now. Great run for that Rackley team.
And with that, I mean, you mentioned a position for DiBenedetto. Tanner Gray going to jump back in the top 10 when Heim pits. Jake Garcia running in the top 10. Caden Honeycutt, who was in the top 5 for a good portion of this race early on, now going to be scored. Well, he's 7th right now. We'll do the choose. Who knows where everybody shakes out for the restart, but some underdog drivers that have found their way to the top 10 going to have a real chance as we get a restart just over 10 laps to go.
I know the track changes a lot in dirt, but like William Byron, for example, ran his fastest lap on lap 81. And conversely, Logano ran his fastest lap on lap 3. So the track, like you said at the opening field, it has gone through some transition. And Matty D with those fresher tires, be interesting to see what he can do here late.
It's going to be a minute before we return to the green flag. We'll take our final break and maybe get the final restart when we come back to Bristol. Joey Logano, pretty good at Bristol. He's won here on the concrete in both the Xfinity and Cup Series. First time here on dirt 2 years ago. He gets it done. And tonight, trying to back it up and win in the Craftsman Truck Series. Boy, has he been something in that 66.
And look how different the track looked back then from what it looks like tonight.
Nothing better than a dirt track on a Saturday night under the lights. This thing has been perfect tonight.
What it's all about. Slid 128 laps, 10 to go, and he's going to have to earn it with another restart. I think Ryan Blaney's still up there. He's like, you got this. I'm gonna go get a hot chocolate and head to the motorhome.
He only needs Ryan for a corner or two because he's got such a big jump on the starts.
Ryan's like the head coach at a football game. When the clock's winding down, he just takes the headset off and walks away. That's what he'll do here.
Hand it to the assistant.
Yeah.
Hand it to the assistant.
Yep. Front row here is going to be Logano, Majeski. Byron lines up behind Logano. Inside of row 2, Grant Enfinger. 9 laps remaining at Bristol.
Nice jump for Majeski there on the bottom. That's the closest we've seen anybody get to Logano by turn 1.
And he clears him.
Little contact maybe. Starting to see a little rain falling. Could have a dramatic run to the checkers here.
Cleared that second row anyway.
And that was an accomplishment, but away goes Logano.
Here comes Williams fighting back around Grant Enfinger.
Matty D into the wall a little bit. Dean Thompson looking on from behind. There's Jonathan Davenport.
All these drivers racing for a spot inside the top 10.
Haley's 11th down on the bottom. Here comes William.
Nice run up off the corner off the high side. And maybe can bring Crafton with him.
Byron to 3rd.
Jake Garcia hanging in there in the 6th spot in that black number 35 truck.
2 weeks in a row for the rookie, the 18-year-old.
That is so cool. Nice run. Love it when you see these teenagers come here and be ready to go toe-to-toe with a champion like Matt Crafton.
Five to go for Joey Logano. 0.7 of a second, the advantage over second place Ty Majeski.
Oh, another spark off the tailgate of that 22 truck as Caden Honeycutt tries to grab another spot.
How about Rajah Caruth has made his way up into the top 10 in that 24 truck?
He's being a sponge. You talked about what a student he is of the game. He's got Kyle Larson on the roof, and he is showing that he can do it. Lap after lap, just better and better.
Caruth looking for his first top 10 finish of the year.
Good bite off the bottom, too.
He might get both those trucks, Michael.
Three laps to go.
Oh.
Logano stretching his lead at the front as they race from 7th on back. Briscoe, Honeycutt, Gray, DiBenedetto, Carruth. Haley Deegan is there looking for another top 10.
She's just as strong as any of those guys, trying to find the hole that she needs to pop in, grab some spots.
2 laps remaining for Joey Logano. Just wants to get back to that white flag, make sure he doesn't have to handle another restart. 1 second advantage over his teammate Ty Majeski.
What a dominating performance by Logano tonight.
White flag, half a mile to his 2nd career win in the Craftsman Truck Series. Little lap traffic, no problem. It's a Bristol beatdown. Joey Logano dominates and wins it on the dirt at Thunder Valley.
Good job.
Majeski, average running position tonight, 2.4. He's going to call Duke Thorson after this race and said, whose idea was it to bring in Logano?
Why are we loaning our trucks out? We don't know.
William Byron 3rd. Matt Crafton, top 10.
Again.
In 11 of our 12 truck races on dirt. Grant Enfinger, 8 for 8 in the top 10 driving on the dirt in the Craftsman Truck Series. And Jake Garcia, 5th last week at Texas, 6th tonight. That is so impressive.
Caden Honeycutt gets a top 10. Great job by that young man.
What about the 18-year-old Garcia? We're on the 1.5 mile of Texas. We got a draft. We're gonna run speeds upwards of 190 miles an hour. Oh, by the way, next week we're gonna go to a short track on the dirt and see what you can do. And he proved he's all around a good young race car driver.
Raja Carruth doesn't get to the top 10, finishes 11th, his best run of the year.
That was a battle for about the 7th spot, wasn't it? Those guys were mixing it up.
Great top 10 for Tanner Gray.
He was strong all night.
Sure was.
I like donuts.
He's hanging 10 right now, I believe, isn't he? 2nd career win in the Craftsman Truck Series for Joey Logano. 1 driving for Brad Keselowski at Martinsville. That happened in March of 2015.
You know, I would celebrate by taking this truck to Hang 10 Car Wash on Monday and just enjoy washing it.
He wasn't really behind many people, though. He didn't even get that dirty, did it?
What about the list of drivers that have won on the dirt at Bristol? I mean, you got Truex, you got Rhodes, now Logano in trucks. Joey, of course, did it in the Cup Series. Kyle Busch last year in a Cup car. A true who's who of NASCAR champions.
All champions.
A salute to the fans.
Joey Logano making his way out of his truck, and the boys in the booth called this the Joey Logano show tonight. And when you look at having to battle the tightness in the truck, you found harmony in the track here tonight. How did you balance the both of those?
Oh, the guys gave me an amazing race truck. It was a great F-150 Hang 10 Car Wash come on for kind of a last minute thing. Hey, let's give it a shot, and called up ThorSport. They had a extra truck with some extra people and put it together, and obviously gave me a really fast truck here today that qualified good in the heat race and able to drive to the lead pretty early in the race and then just pretty much be able to control it. So I'm not sure I learned anything for tomorrow because I didn't really get to race a whole bunch, but it was fun leading all the laps. I had a great spotter up there in Blaney. He was up there spotting for me, and he kept entertaining and lighthearted and a little bit of fun too.
We showed him several times on the broadcast, and I hope you have some great words for him later. But you talk about tomorrow. You qualified 12th for the Cup race. You have the chance to double up. Is there any institutional knowledge you can apply tomorrow?
They drive so different. The trucks versus the Cup cars these days are just apples and oranges at this point. So, you know what? My fun meter was pegged tonight. I had a lot of fun out here racing at Bristol. I love it. The dirt's a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoy the dirt race, and it's a lot of fun as a driver in there, moving around and seeing the lanes move a lot, and hopefully tomorrow is just as good with the other car.
Congratulations, Joey.
Thank you.
Here with Ty Majeski, who comes home second tonight. Is there anything more you could have done to catch Joey?
He's good. He's a two-time Cup champion for a reason. Just happy we got ThorSport in victory lane. Duke, Rhonda, everybody at ThorSport deserves to be in victory lane. Just wish it was us. Just one spot short. Overall, he was just better than us tonight. I thought maybe at times if we would have had a long run, I might have been able to match him or at least make him nervous, but just wasn't in the cards tonight. Overall, a really, really good points day for us. Just wish we would have got a stage win or gotten victory lane, but overall, good for a showing for Soda Sense. Brand new sponsor for me from my hometown, so happy to have these guys on board. They're here enjoying the race tonight, so damn, close.
Appreciate your time, Ty.
2 wins in the playoffs last year for Ty Majeski, makes the championship 4. Great start to 2023, and tonight he went toe-to-toe, as he said, with a 2-time Cup champion.
Yes, ThorSport was so good. They showed it early on in our heat races how good they were. They won 2 and 2 of the heat races, and Matt Crafton won the other heat race that he was in. Matt finishes 4th, so ThorSport goes 1, 2, 4.
What a great performance for Ty Majeski. It just shows you, I talked about being a well-rounded driver, getting it done everywhere, and that short track racer has proven that he can win anywhere and everywhere, and he'll be one of the favorites to be a champion this season.
You talk about the strength of ThorSport. Tonight, their 43rd win all time, the 4th time they've done it on the dirt in the Craftsman Truck Series with 4 different drivers. By the way, those 4 wins, the most all time. They came in tied with Kyle Busch Motorsports. Logano knows all about that drive up the hill to victory lane. Best part about this is we get to do it all again next Friday night at Martinsville.
It's going to be just as competitive, just as crazy, just as unexpected who might win that race.
Back to Josh.
Down here with Matt Crafton, comes home 4th. Strong run for you tonight, and you get to do it again tomorrow. Anything you learned that can help you out?
Yeah, I just, Shane, he said I'm not a dirt guy, and I'm never claimed to be, but I've worked on it a lot and tried to make myself better at it and learn some of the adjustments. We were so free in our heat race, and then I had them over-adjusted, and then I got really tight, and then I only took a little stab at it there because I thought we were going to pit again the second time, but and then we didn't. I'm like, oh, we're still tight. We need to make some more adjustments on it. But I could start running the top, and I could really make up some ground when I was running the top because I was as tight as I was. I just could not make the bottom work. All in all, not a bad night, and look forward to tomorrow. Should have fun there.
Strong night for ThorSport, guys.
No question about it. Put 3 trucks inside the top 5. Here's what's happening tomorrow. We have our Easter celebration on FS1 at 4:30. Race day at 5:30. Over to Fox at 6 for more race day in the Cup Series for the 3rd time live from Bristol, Tennessee. Green flag goes in the air just after 7 Eastern time. It was a fun night on the dirt in Bristol. Special thanks for watching. Great work on pit road for Josh and Amanda with Michael Waltrip, Phil Parsons. I'm Adam Alexander. So good to have you with us on this Easter weekend. Congratulations, Joey Logano. He leads 138 of 150 laps and wins for the 2nd time in his career.